And then you can keep.
Welcome, Dan. Welcome, Linda. Call the meeting to order at 9:02. We'll start with our brief land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the Indigenous peoples and the ancestors whose lands we now share. 2.0, the agenda, there's been some additions put on. Page 1 and the info package as well. Any further additions?
And we're gonna be talking about that, changing the designation of roads.
What
You're talking about.
The Sunny Valley and like changing it from residential to field access.
There is a, it's not the Sunny Valley roads, but it is.
Or next to
It
it.
connects to it, yeah.
Okay, can I add something about roads also?
Yep.
Well, yeah, by all means, I was gonna touch on that as well. But
Okay,
it's an issue kind of across the board, not just in the one area.
It'll be within your report then.
Yeah, like I'll touch on it in the snowplow.
Will that be good, Gary?
Yeah.
If we address it then.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, seeing nothing else, I get a motion to adopt the agenda with the additions. Councillor Alabisky, all in favor, it's carried. Item 3.0 is our council meeting minutes from December the 9th. Any discussion arising from them? Any errors? If not, get a motion to accept the minutes. Councillor Shug, all in favor? It's carried. Item 4, we got public hearings at 11, so we'll skip over them for now. And then item 5, we'll have to wait till after the public hearings for those. So that'll take us right down to 6.1.1. Item A is the Grimshaw Regional Healthcare A&R Committee funding. Just want to find it here. So I guess, I don't know if Josh received this, I think he did. Basically, as you're aware, or if you're not aware, Grimshaw has moved into a new building for a clinic now. And the rent is going to be a bit higher, obviously. So they're just looking for the partners, Town of Grimshaw, MD of Peace, ourselves, to use that same formula for funding and cover the new rent. So looks like it would be, we've been giving 73. That's going to be bumped up to 10. So an increase of roughly $3,000. But I think it's been a great move for Grimshaw in the right area.
Yep.
We finally got a really nice building there, so.
Yeah, and I think they're just waiting on us, I think, for the last one to approve it. So. And then at the meeting, I put on the agenda because Josh also wanted us to clarify the terms, like how long we want to sign the agreement for. Normally we sign it for 3 years at a time. And I just wondered what council felt about that. Is 3 years still good? Do you want it longer than that, shorter than that? Just because that's the other piece of it.
Okay, thanks, Caitlin. Personally, I think 3 years is fine because things could change, right? And,
That's.
would like it locked in something that
And I think that's kind of the standard for what all the other municipalities are doing too, so,
is 3 year.
yeah. Yep, so I'm prepared to make the motion that we approve the increase and go ahead.
For a 3 year term.
Yeah.
Is that for both? That's for the rate and for the bursary part of it?
Yeah, because the bursary part hasn't changed, just the rent has changed.
Okay.
Yeah, the bursary contribution is still the same.
So both for 3 years then?
Yeah.
Okay, any further discussion or questions? No, call for the vote, all in favor? That's carried.
We made the motion.
Caleb,
Okay.
Okay, item B is a District 4 zone meeting. So that's coming up, it's gonna be in D, south of Falern, south of Donley. So. Looking, any resolutions they want by, I've seen it somewhere end of the month, I believe. Sooner than better, because that's coming up really fast. And also, if we had any topics. Any suggestions for speakers, for presenters? So I mean, we're a big district, so there's probably lots of ideas being thrown out, but I did hint at one resolution to Josh before I left. I don't know if he talked to you about it on all those notes he left for you. It's about electoral boundaries, proposed changes. But, and I talked to Bob Willing, who's vice chair of our zone. So far, nobody's presented any resolutions yet. Let alone that one, so I don't know if council thinks that would be worth making a resolution for. I mean, Kaylin, you said you're writing a thesis on it or
Yeah.
whatever.
That makes me angry.
So I mean, with the help of administration and with RMA, we could get something together and submit it if we thought it was worthy. There's actually a webinar day after tomorrow. Are you registered for it?
I am.
Did you get a question period or? No. He gave me one, he said, you got 8 minutes to ask a question to the panel. I said, no, I just wanted to listen in. Well, you can do that on YouTube, but I said, well, people probably ask a question, I guess, so.
Yeah, I think a resolution is a good idea. I think they're pretty aware of the situation I think they're kind of working on it. I don't know. We need a resolution right now, maybe in the fall if they don't do anything.
Well,
But it doesn't hurt at the same time to put our voice out there. That's
I think the sooner you get ahead of it, right?
for sure.
Because
Yeah.
by the fall, it could be ready for the printers, right?
True, yeah.
Are you up for that challenge? Yeah.
In less than 2 weeks.
Well, like I say, and don't be afraid to reach out to RMA. That's what we're there for, right? To help with that. And we can give you some direction, what our thoughts are on it.
If I can get that as soon as possible, then I can put a draft together and.
I think we already submitted.
RMA has a good write-up, it's really good, RMA.
And Caleb submitted one on her own behalf. And maybe she can forward that to you.
I could definitely forward that.
And then maybe we're gone, maybe Josh summarized one for council and we'll submit it.
No, I think it's in our package.
Submit it in info package. Yeah, so I think between all those sources, you should be able to.
Cooking something up.
Draw their attention. So, and in the meantime, if anybody thinks, all of a sudden the light bulb comes on and there's a really good presenter that would be of interest to the zone, or interest of all RMA, I guess, but just let Bob know, or let myself know, and I can pass it on. Okay, so give a motion then to acknowledge receipt of the meeting topic resolution report and have the administration and draft resolution regarding the boundary. We should call that proposed boundary changes. Okay, Councillor Decker makes that motion. All in favor? Carried. Item C is RMA member visit scheduling. So they missed us last year, right? We had planned on coming and I'm sure what happened, but.
Well, what we did was last year we said they wanted to come and then in the end we said, well, let's wait till after the elections and then it was winter refund in December and so it is.
Yeah.
So they throw out some.
Good for days. Cool, we have this.
I mean, it always works better if we can do it during a meeting. Then take the meeting day, so everybody's not traveling an extra day.
Do they kind of have a month where they're just, like, the letter kind of seems like wide open, maybe? They don't really propose a month or a time, or they just have the schedules for our council meeting today.
That's what they.
Do they come next month?
Typically, they come in the summertime, right?
That's what I wondered, okay, like, wanna shoot for that?
So maybe we should reach out to them. This is from Wyatt. And from Kara. I could ask her if they have any, if they can narrow down some dates.
Even months, yeah, we wanna. do
Because,
Summer.
I mean, usually they try to catch MD Peace or Northern Sunrise or somebody else up here at the same time, right? So
Sure.
we'd have to kind of coordinate around that.
Maybe shoot for some date in April, maybe the 14th or the 28th.
Yeah, or maybe even like in May, like, I mean, we're gonna see them in March for RMA for convention, right? And convention's kind of like the middle of March already.
So they want to know by the end of the month, so they have one more meeting. Can we just table this until we,
I can reach out to them.
yeah. I mean, I can reach out
Oh,
to
you can
Kara.
reach out to Kara.
Yeah, she's the one that said it, so just. Try to be a little more specific.
We'll make the motion.
Okay, Councilor Lisky moves to acknowledge receipt of the report and table it till our next meeting. All in favor? It's carried. Item D, the Dixonville Charter School Society. So we just wanted a quick recap for those that didn't get to attend the meeting with Minister Long. And so basically, what we were under the impression that once Peace River School Division was done with the building, infrastructure would be looking to turn it over to somebody else, like as in sell it, and we thought that the county might be the ones to become owner of a school. Very quickly in the meeting we learned that that's not the case. They're willing to retain the building, and they would sign a lease agreement with the Dixonville Charter School, the same as they did with Peace River School Division. So they're responsible for all maintenance and all the things. So basically just a different tenant in there, another school tenant. So, and the library can continue to operate in there.
Are they charging rent to the library?
Well, in the past, the school division, they were under the school, Peace River School Division, and they were not charged.
Do you think the charter school
We
will have
would
the
do
same
the same.
courtesy extending? That's great.
Because they would want to have a library at the
Yeah,
school, right?
yeah.
So,
They're-
and further to that, they, prior to this meeting, the Charter Society had received their charter from Alberta Education, so,
They have?
yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
that's well done.
Yeah, so things are kind of moving
Yeah, that's
as I
fine.
hoped, right? So I don't know if you guys have met since then.
This is, well, it's good news, that we are not liable for any, potential expenses and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But
It's a huge relief.
So now it's kind of a three-way conversation between the Charter School Society, infrastructure, and Alberta Education. Alberta Education kind of has first dibs to say, yeah, you can put a charter school in there, or they might say, no, this isn't appropriate, but I mean, I don't think they ever would, right?
No,
In
I
fact,
think like usually. Often a charter school is utilizing another building that wasn't a school. Might be an abandoned, whatever. And but seeing as how this was a school just a year ago, and it's in very good condition, so. I don't see a problem with it.
Are they planning to reopen the school come this
In the fall, yes,
That's one.
yeah, September.
it's pretty.
Because the last thing you want is to have a school stand empty for too long, because it's unbelievable that the maintenance all of a sudden just happens.
Yes.
So is I'll say that leave all the desks and
No.
everything, so the charter school will have to
Yes,
By that, what fund is it?
the provincial government, has a startup. Budget for startup funds for new schools.
That means
To buy all
including
the furniture and whatever you need.
That's including the busing too, right?
No, the busing is not included.
We'll have to.
Not in the startup. We would have to find our own. Buses.
Yes, there was an article someplace.
Hmm.
And so those funds.
Well, that's good news. Yeah.
Yeah,
From the budget. Pardon me?
I'm really happy that they.
Oh, yeah, no.
That's great one.
It's like now when it starts.
and
But
there's lots going on at that meeting, virtual meeting, and so that one, I don't know, he's a assistant minister, or whatever, he held up some things, because we're talking about Alberta education, we're gonna prove this, yeah, this got it here, he said, so I don't know if he meant the charter, or if he meant the agreement with Alberta education, but have you guys had a meeting since then, or?
no, we haven't, well, we have with, they have one person that's just gonna kind of help us through all of the checklist. And, but we haven't met with, the head of the, other school, the new school person. I can't remember her name offhand,
But it kind of sounded like the letter he signed was the one saying, yes, Alberta infrastructure is going to keep it. And then pass it over to Alberta Ed is kind of what it sounded like.
yeah,
to me.
it sounded like they were in support of.
That's awesome.
You gotta speak up so we can hear you.
I'm just fixing the microphone now, the battery's dead.
It sounded like the letter was sent to Alberta Ed saying that, infrastructure was in support or in favor of the society using that building as a school. So now it's up to Alberta Ed.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me
Yeah.
too, yeah.
And it really seemed like there would be no barriers, that there'd be no reason for them not to say, okay, but it's still a formality they have to go through, right, so.
And either way, at the end of the good day, we don't have to own a school.
Yeah. So then I see here, there's a suggestion to send a letter, to the Minister of Education to support.
Well, if that's what the society would need, just more support, the better, and,
I think it would help,
yeah,
maybe to expedite the process.
yeah.
It'll probably move as fast as it can, as it is. Doesn't exist.
So the draft motion says the direct administration secure a meeting with the Minister of Education or delegate, but maybe that's not necessary, maybe just a letter of support would be fine. So any other questions on this? I mean, it was all kind of good news, I thought, so. So we'll just get a motion to acknowledge receipt of the report and then direct administration to draft a letter of support to the Minister of Education on behalf of this society.
I can do that.
Okay, Councillor Fees. Any last questions? All in favor? It's carried. Item E, the 2026 SMR Nuclear Canada Summit being held in Calgary this year. So last year, paid the registrations of 2 committee members to attend. It was in Sherwood Park. And so again, this year they would pay for 2 registrations. And any municipalities that want to send anybody over above that is welcome to register as well. So I think some of the municipalities have already done that. I'm not sure all of them, but I know MDO Pieces like this, I don't know about Grimshaw, Peace River, Sunrise, but they're all meeting this week too, so probably be on their agendas. So very informative conference. I think there's an agenda, the draft agenda kind of attached.
So, according to the results of our plebiscite, majority of people here expressed they're not interested in nuclear development, so. I'm not sure why we would be interested in this, plus there's no SMRs proposed for this area. So I don't see the need for this.
So what I attended last year and I talked to the organizer, I said, you label this conference as SMR, and it's really, they talked about all types of reactors with their power generation, full scale SMR. I said, yeah, we understand that it probably shouldn't be SMR, but we're branded that way, and that takes a lot of effort to change everything, so we're just gonna leave it as is, recognizing that we're talking about all aspects of nuclear energy, from mining to waste disposal to SMRs and large, that, so it's a bit misleading what they title their conference.
Well, regardless of that, we did undertake the plebiscite to gauge public support. We got our results, so now do we accept that, or do we ignore the public? I think it doesn't send a good message. We just ignore the results of this and continue on this path. So again, I don't see that it's necessary.
As part of the results, I mean, the bigger majority was actually in favor of council educating themselves and the public on the nuclear.
And again, we made it clear that these are non-binding plebiscite questions. I mean, they were just put out there to kind of gauge a little bit, I guess, but there's not committing ourselves to anything.
There was really only one question that was clear on the plebiscite, and that was, are you in favor or not? The other one was pretty ambiguous, and so you interpret it how you want.
Well, the first question was asking whether, they wanted council to engage with other levels of government and industry on, relaying more information about it. Like, so I think, the majority of people need to know more about it. Nuclear energy in general.
Well, this information is the industry, so it's giving one side of the equation. A lot of it, again, to the SMRs, they've not been built.
Well, there's pros and cons to everything, and I'm sure both sides have been presented. That I just think it's important that we educate ourselves as much as we can.
So anybody interested in attending?
I unfortunately am not available. I'm okay if you're available to make the motion to send you. I think it's important that we have firsthand information and do our best to educate ourselves. That's the best we can do.
I really think the CNA conference is a better one, but I mean, they're both important, I guess. This one is on Western Canada, so anybody, would you be interested in attending, Brent?
I hope it's good.
I think it might be good if we went, Brent.
How about you, Linda?
No.
I would like to attend. After speaking to Cindy quite often, I mean, she's quite informed by attending a lot of these sessions. I would really like to attend more of these, so I can actually, since it might be built around this, kind of it's better. I know, especially from the municipal administration side, what is needed and what is available to us to actually get funding for consultations and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Cindy's gonna attend, I mean, not as a member of PREC, but as a member of Northern Sunrise. She did last year anyway, so.
She came back with lots of positive information. So.
Well, and that's just it, right? Like, that's the value. I'm disappointed. Unfortunately, I'm double booked. I can't change that, but I think it's a value to go. How else are we gonna get informed and have good information?
Gary, would you be interested?
I think I'd like to go.
Yeah. Brendan?
No,
Gloria?
I'm not thinking.
Well, we know Gary and Gerhard go, that would be. Maybe,
Yeah, I don't think I would be.
I mean, I would love to attend too, but And being in light of registrations and expenses and everything, I think if we send two, that would be lots.
Sure.
And then maybe Breck would even pay for one of the registrations, depending who else. Like I say, I know MD has appointed MD and Peace has appointed somebody. And I'm sure that. Northern Sunrise will, since one of the proposed sites is in their municipalities.
Okay, so I can amend my motion to register Councillor Fees and Senator
CEO.
Mhm.
And then it'll be determined if Breck will pay for one of those registrations or not, because they're only gonna pay for two, right? So there's already one taken up as far as I know. Right, Teresa? Okay, any other discussion?
I'm just. I have a problem because I think. Gary's story has sort of a,
Okay, well,
you know what I'm saying, Gary, we talked about it before, and I just feel. That the conflict of interest.
So I know what you're saying, but I mean, attending this conference will have no benefit to him other than just learning like everybody else at the conference. Usually a conflict is when you're directly impacted financially or some kind of benefit. I don't know. What do you think, Eric? Do you know the rules of that well enough or to?
Well, you nailed it with the financial benefit, and I don't think that Council Fees will get a financial benefit by attending the conference. Except knowledge. Which we can bring back to council, and the same with me. We can do a little briefing together afterwards of what we learned from the conference. That's just my view.
It's a potential conflict. So if Gary comes back and says, yeah, this is great, we should support all this stuff. Could be perceived as a conflict, right?
Well, perfect sense if you join us on the trip.
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
I know it's a gray area, right? Mhm.
I mean, I can pay for my own, that's not,
Well, I mean, anybody can register on their own, that's right, if you were willing to, cover your expenses and registration on your own. But then that's totally outside of. I mean, would you feel any discomfort in attending as kind of indicated?
I don't see how that's gonna change anything that's happening, or did happen. But that's not. It's more up to you guys to.
At the end of the day,
Yeah,
we don't tell you what to do, Gary. You
Well-
have to make that decision for yourself.
And if you guys don't want me to go, that's not a, I just. Very, like, very pertinent, very interesting and.
I mean, so I mean, there's no secret that there's a proponent that's proposed a project in our region. And this is not being put on by them, they're not even on the agenda, so.
You think you're going to see that decision?
He does.
Deal with the motion.
I just feel like there's not, it's not Energy Alberta putting it on, so I don't see the conflict myself, like I don't feel uncomfortable about it.
But it is Gary's ultimate decision, I
For sure.
guess.
For sure. I think it's important that we have representation, so if you wanna think about it, I can probably flip. And cover you if you change your mind.
I think there was an early bird
Yeah,
cutoff,
there it is, yeah.
and what the date was, and I don't know what the discount was for early bird, will not be significant anyway. Any discount this window?
Well, registration is only $120.
No, that's for the budget.
Is that full?
That's just.
That's what I
budget.
remember. Just looking back at the Sanders email,
I believe the deadline is the 23rd, and it's a little over $1,000.
23rd of January. Yeah, it is the 23rd.
So the early bird is $1,300, the regular is $1,605.
Well, did you, want to amend your motion, you said, or was it you who made the motion to send your?
I made the motion, it's still sitting there ready for debate, I don't feel that there's a conflict for Gary, so I don't know. I mean, had it been Energy Alberta's event, had they been a presenter, absolutely, I would feel uncomfortable about it. But I don't feel uncomfortable about this, I think we need to have information. But I totally believe this is Gary's call to make, it's nobody else's. But just so that you're aware, I don't feel that there's any conflict. You know, my support.
I don't see any either, to be honest with you, but that's, maybe I'm not seeing something. Okay, well, any further discussion?
So for the benefit of people in the gallery, it should be clear where the money is coming from for this event.
Well, it's gonna go back to to be ratified, right? We're gonna see how many people come back, wanna go, and who's gonna pay those ones, and then the municipalities will cover whoever doesn't, right? That's kind of how I understood it. It was leaving the prep conversation and going out to see who was all going to be interested in attending. And that they were willing to pay for two, and then we'll determine who those two are, and then the municipalities pay the rest.
So if there's 2 registrations, that's paid for Peace Regional Energy Committee.
Yeah.
And their funding comes from,
All the member municipalities.
So members that have buy-in, just when they formed the committee, and then we got a intermunicipal collaboration.
or just, this grant from the province is what's been funding these events up till now, is that correct?
Well, so the only 2 events that I can think of would be the SMR in Sherwood Park last year, and then the Canadian Nuclear Association in Ottawa. And they paid for the registrations only. The municipalities covered the attendees' expenses, hotels and travel.
The county paid for that?
Mhm.
Okay, just wanted to make that clear, so we understand where the funding here.
Yeah, as with any conference that we go to.
Okay,
Well, it's somewhat not necessarily clear with how it works with the energy committee, that's why I want clarity, it's not the same as some of these other events.
okay, we have a motion before us by Councillor Shunk. Last chance for discussion or questions, all in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Item F is a meeting request of Minister Williams at RMA Spring Convention. So this is kind of a standard invitation we get, but we never usually get a time. Always good to keep in front of him. And if we don't really have anything burning, I mean, what we probably should do is invite him to a council meeting when we get real personal and more time than the 10 minutes they give you at conventions. So.
That was kind of my feeling, we're kind of lucky, he's our MLA, so we get,
So far,
yeah, we kind of get a little bit of a kick at the kitty, and the only two things I could think of were like the code of conduct and the boundaries, and I feel like those are already out there getting worked on, so I don't know that it would justify the meeting. To me, I feel like there's better bang for the buck for sure, if he comes and sits in the hot seat here.
yeah, I totally agree with that. Unless somebody has something they want to meet with him in Edmonton about.
But it takes you away from the conference and all of that too, people.
And that's just it, right? Like you're sacrificing conference time for 10 minutes, right? Yeah.
I mean, I think we're still, I don't know if we got the invitation from Gleason's office yet, transportation, but
Yeah.
Probably will.
yeah, but we should,
There are other ministries that are better, yeah.
we should try there again, and actually health, and mind again, and education, and there's lots of them, but. So for this one, anyway, we'll just accept the information and say thanks, but no thanks. So we want to make that motion, Councillor Reese, all in favor, it's carried. Item G is the interprovincial committee invitation, so where this came from, but I can quickly speak to this. So there's a kind of a coalition of municipalities, and the mayor of Grand Prairie has always talked about it with me, and so it's Grand Prairie, County of Grand Prairie, Clear Hills County, I think it's all in the information here. And so I guess I just thought, since we border with BC, that would we be interested, but I think we're far enough removed from them that it really doesn't impact us at this time. And, I mean, it would be a small commitment, but still, do we really see any value in at this time?
Jay, if I can just comment on that, I mean, I think the only real touch point we have is the Peace River coming from BC into our area, so. That might be something to discuss, whether it's the water that's coming down or not coming down because it's been held up in either the two dams there and stuff like that, but that's,
Well, so,
in my opinion, the only ones that's really.
Well, I would say there's more than that. There's species at risk. I mean, this huge chinchilla caribou range goes into BC as well, so we share that with them. We share rail lines because the Peace River District, who's part of this, right? So their municipalities work quite a bit different, so they have a whole district of municipalities. They joined our CRA now, the community rail advocacy, so they have concerns with rail service. So, I mean, we do have a few things, water, yeah, for sure, but also species at risk, transportation. You know, maybe pipelines at some time, but I don't know.
We try to have those covered with the other committees.
And it's only twice a year, it's not that.
You know, not demanding. No, I mean, there would be overlap, you're right. So,
That was my feeling too, I was gonna say, is I kind of felt like duplication a little bit. Appreciate the offer, but I don't know,
if we need more,
I don't think.
and I don't know,
Not with this one, yeah.
you know,
I can support them.
I guess we don't have any issues on the table at this point. I mean, not necessary, but it's something we should keep an eye on.
I think so, because
Come back for
a lot of times it's not even necessarily because of a certain issue, it's more just to kind of share what's going on, and oh, I didn't know that, or you know, that's good, we can help out with that, or but yeah, let's let it slide for
And
another.
it could also be just a virtual meeting. An hour or two of time.
Or we could try to see if there's any value. It's not a huge commitment. As it stands, Alberta and BC do not have much communication. It's pretty poor, and we found out with BC Hydro issue that it's better than it was, but it's been terrible. Communication between Alberta and BC. It's just like there's a wall of, information that's just blocked. So
So March 25th is our next meeting. Do they, I didn't notice, do they have a virtual option? They're meeting in Dawson Creek. Which is a, 2.5, 3 hour drive.
And is there a virtual option here?
Yeah, so I'm looking for
Is that?
I truly hate those virtual meetings when there's a bunch of people like that. It's just a small group, real quick. No problem.
But Chair, I really have to agree with Councillor Reeve on this one, that I think let's try it once. Let's see what's the information that we get out of this. If there's any value, we can always resign from it and say, well, we're a little bit too far removed, but we might get valuable information. Especially with the lack of.
I'm inclined to say, let's try this, and we can always, if there's no value, then we're not committed to anything.
Or can we just email them and just say, okay, we're willing to want to sit in and listen before we make a decision, and that way we don't have to decline. I mean, we did it with.
Well, I would say we just drive over to Dawson Creek and sit in and. So it says 2 council representatives and 1 member of staff, so assuming that would be the CEO.
And I don't see any cost involved. I mean, the meeting costs are referred to as just
Just
Just the meeting
attending, and
cost.
that's it. There's no membership fees or anything.
As your time comes up for the meeting, that's what they said they wanted. Someone or whoever holds the meeting to cover the cost of the meeting,
So
so
it's renting a hall and it's
Minimum.
lunch or whatever.
I think I agree with. Brent to. Maybe open the door, I know I was at meetings in with Frida. And we had some joint meetings, and it's just a total different world there, and maybe we should be opening it up a little bit and discussing a few things.
Okay, so I'm hearing kind of consensus, let's give it a try. So if somebody wants to make that motion, and we'll appoint our representatives. And I got time, I can go if nobody else is interested.
Brent, are you interested?
I would.
Gary?
I'll check it out.
As the administrator. Okay.
Well, it says,
Yes.
Don't really have a choice.
well, I mean, the beginning, the administrator is the Charles or Josh,
Oh.
but I would think that.
I think I would definitely
Yeah.
like to
I can make that motion.
use the first.
Okay. Okay, Councillor Deccan has moved that we acknowledge receipt and reply that the County of Northern Lights will be an addition and send those named and accept the terms of reference, so. Can backspace that last sentence out of there. Oh, an alternate, who would be an alternate?
I could do that.
Okay, Gary would be the alternate. Okay, last chance for discussion. All in favor? It's carried. That was Gloria and or no, Gary did.
Yeah.
Gary.
You're gonna see you on there or not? I'm just gonna add it here.
Okay, ready for a quick break? Use some coffee. We're gonna have lots of time, I think, before the meeting shows up, so it's not gonna fall through too fast. Okay, let's reconvene in 10 o'clock. And we can move down to item 6.1.1, item H, the Manning District FCSS strategic planning invitation. That's coming up right away. Speak up.
I said, I think I'll be attending them.
Okay, anybody else?
I initially agreed to attend the session that was canceled. For me too.
Well, we have to re-register again, so it's in the fire hall and
In my opinion.
that in, but. On the
So-
30th.
On the 30th at 9 AM.
I got an invite to this meeting, the first meeting they held, and I wasn't aware that none of our council members were actually there.
No,
Because I mean, I've literally just got a meeting invite and I attended the meeting. But I think it's worthwhile if we have representation from council in this meeting. That's why when I was not available at the end of last year, I was Councillor Reese being on the FCSS thing, and I think it's actually worthwhile if more of our council attend, because I know the town has at least, I saw Keith and the mayor there, so there's at least 2 representation on the town there, so maybe 2 or 3 from the county would be great to have.
So Lori, I'm not available, I'm going to the NEDC. Anybody else? Brent, you said you'll be there?
Yeah.
You're a representative for SCSS.
I'll be fine, you guys will, yeah.
So Gerard, you'll probably attend too?
I'll try.
You have to register us. I will, go ahead, sure.
Yeah, I mean, the last one they had, I never knew about it till I heard it after it was over, right? Reach out to us at all, so I don't know if that was an oversight on Megan's part or, but anyway.
Trinity, looks like Trinity is registered as well.
Well, Trinity's gonna attend it.
It's a-
Okay. All right. So we'll get a motion to acknowledge receipt of the invitation and register.
Pick that.
Okay, Councillor Lobisky, all in favor? Carried. Item I is RPAP Knowledge Now Connected Communities Free Webinar. And that is on the 22nd, which we're gonna, that will be really.
Yeah, I self-registered for the 29th and the 12th. When I got the RPAP email, I didn't realize we were bringing it to council, so I'm already registered
For the 22nd.
for both. There's the 29th and then February 12th. There's the toolkit and then the connected communities one.
This one shows the 22nd.
Yeah, there's the 22nd and then there's, if you go further down, there's the February 12th for the toolkit that's highlighted.
So sorry, Taylor, what's the 29th is what? It's the same meeting or?
Yeah, so there's one on the 22nd and then one on February 12th, sorry.
Oh, yeah, there's highlighted.
Yeah.
For January 29.
And one in February. So.
January 22nd, 29th, and February.
Yes, so I didn't register for the 29th because they're both the connected communities, I thought. So I'm just registered for the 22nd. And for.
Okay, well, I guess anybody wants to register,
Go ahead.
so I wouldn't mind attending one either, just to stay in the loop.
I'll do the 29.
Yeah, I couldn't do the 29th, so I just have 22 and the.
I'll do the 22.
And these are probably like, are they only an hour long or whatever, it says 11 AM,
The 2 that I registered for on the 22nd and the 12th are both just 11 to 12.
you know. Virtual, and there's not even any other cost to us, so.
No.
Okay, so we'll just accept that for information and, well, I wanna register for one as well, I don't know if we have to.
I want to
Listen,
get paid.
you know, for our meeting, and, yeah, I can put my name down, and probably generally charge for those things. Okay,
I'll make that motion.
okay, still filling in the names here. Who made that motion? Right? Okay. Councillor Yasinski, all in favor? Carried. Okay, item J is an addition. The Rural Crime Watch sponsorship request. Provincial symposium. This is one they had in Peace River last year,
2 years.
was it two?
Maybe even longer if you want. It was in Nisku last year for sure, I just wasn't able to attend. I think it's maybe even been 3 years since it was in Peace River. I was early on council
Were they holding it this year?
then, in Nisku.
Mm.
This is the one that falls at the tail end of RMA Spring Convention.
So what do we want to do? You wanna? I mean, we sponsored last, whenever it was, yeah, last year. Because Peace River was hosting it, we thought that we would be. Kind of a regional neighbor, I don't know.
Yeah, I would like to see us maybe drop it down to the 600 co-sponsor, I think we need to do 1,200. And I would like to attend. I think as the representative for the Rural Crime Watch, it's important.
Okay.
But only if council gives me the blessing.
So 21st of March.
Under 21st.
Yeah,
So right after our meeting, like you said.
yeah, so I figure we're already out there anyway, so just.
Okay, any other discussions? Anybody else interested in attending?
Yeah, it is a really good convention. This is the one that sets the stage for the big one they do in Calgary every year. So all of the resolutions, all the information, just a little bit on a smaller scale, so you get to have more one-on-one conversations than in the bigger settings. So. And we definitely know crime is going up, so. Important.
Okay, if nobody else is interested, then we'll get a motion to acknowledge receipt and for $600. Gary and register Deputy Reeve Shrug, all in favor? It's carried. There you go. That can make, put extra clothes in when you go to our meeting. The next addition, item K, is a Growing North Conference registration change, so. Understand that Brenda is not gonna go now. We have registration, hotels have been booked, so anybody else want to attend?
I would be interested if nobody else has, just because I've never been to one before, but I'm willing to give it up to anybody else who would like to go.
Yeah.
Would you like to go?
No, it's okay.
It's totally fine.
Good conference.
Yeah, it is.
I understand that I'm talking to that Tom Pura, they're gonna do it a little different this year, their presenters, but I didn't quite find out what he was doing, but whatever it'll be, good, so. Okay, nobody else wants to.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah. Good.
I'll make that motion. You need a motion to send people.
Yeah, it's the one conference I've never done.
Yeah.
Okay, Councillor Decker moved to exchange the registration from Musinski to Shug for Growing North, all in favor? Carried. And item L, another addition is the tri-council Christmas supper that we've never had, for many years ago now. So I don't know, if you've been away, Gerard, I don't know if you've talked to any of the other administrators yet, but maybe this. Used to be a really good idea when we first got on council, we looked forward to it.
But I don't know if it was me that's bringing the bad luck, because it's the second time now it's being cancelled. I think Teresa actually had a very good idea, maybe we should do a Christmas in July or something like that.
So let's put it out to the other,
And do it at figure eight lake.
Yeah.
Barbecue rather than.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a great idea. We do one.
And we have a lot of scratch cards and stuff that we can still hand out as a stage, because otherwise I'm gonna scratch everything in with it.
so let's. Have you reach out to the other CEOs, to Brian and Cindy. And with that suggestion and see what they say.
Yep.
We've got lots of time to organize it yet, so
Yeah, and especially that we can get actual timelines, because most of council are on summer breaks and stuff like that, so we can work around those. But I think it's a very good idea to still have something like that, because I know that there is some discussions needed.
Maybe we can
Try it for June.
plan it for our summer road tour.
Yeah, June might be just before the big summer break.
Break. So it's hard to get together.
Okay, so,
So change that to Christmas in June.
we'll just put it in summer, put summer.
Maybe the snow will be melted by then.
This was in sunshine.
You call that a South African summer where it's really warm and nice out.
So any other thoughts on that? We'll get a motion then that we'll have the CEOs discuss this.
I can do that.
Okay, Councillor, please. Any other thoughts? The only thing I said, and not that we would wanna put too much in one day, but if we're doing our South Road tour, which is usually in August, not that early, so, but you can piggyback onto that. Anyway, all in favor, motion? Carried. Okay, move down to 6.1.5, finance, November bank reconciliation. Josh is laying on the beach, so we can't even ask him any questions about it.
What I've been told is that he deserves this little break, so.
Yeah, he got thrown into a firestorm there. No, snowstorm.
Might take over.
Okay, so I guess probably no questions. We'll just get a motion to ignore Jacita, the bank reconciliation, sector information. Councillor Reese, all in favor, carried. Move to page 2. We'll move to 6.2.3. Under fire protection is Dixonville Fire Services meeting, so. Again, we recall the weather caused that to be postponed and we still have that outstanding yet, so. I guess we have to try it again and do some advertising.
I just got a question for Brenda. How did the registrations and stuff go when Tim was in at your, I think it was the Christmas market? Was it?
Yeah, the Christmas market, we didn't get any applications that week. So to date, I don't think there has been any. It's not on the 15th, up to the 15th.
So much time do we need to advertise? Do we have it this in early February? The only thing I got that first week is that piece of the school, we did a municipal meeting in Bridgeville on the 4th.
What time is that?
That's at 7.
In the evening.
Yeah, 7 in the evening.
I had Northeast Housing earlier in the day before that too, so that's not good.
The day before you're busy?
On the 4th, like, so I'll go to Northeast Housing and then come. to
Oh,
the subdivision.
So
I'm good for anything but the week of the 9th.
why don't we try have it that first week in February?
Yep, yeah,
Monday, the 2nd.
I'm fine with that. Groundhog Day.
But, I mean, we'll just basically cut and paste our last one, right? Just change the date on
Yeah, I don't see anything in the item for all that.
it. I guess you should check with Tim, make sure he's available.
It doesn't sound promising.
Are we doing 7 o'clock again?
Same.
It's an extra day like that then.
Yep.
Okay, so if anybody, doesn't have a problem with that date and time, let's get a motion to try have that public meeting again, the fire hall.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Councillor Zinsky, all in favor? It's carried. That's very good. Okay. Fasten your seatbelts. We'll go down to 6.3.1 Public Works, and we'll start with item A. Is the Director of Public Works report.
Yes, so. I have in here, so for bridge maintenance, we have to be extended till the 19th. I just talked to the engineer this morning. They may need a couple extra days, just inclement weather. Hasn't been easy on them. So we may extend that a little bit. He's gonna have conversations with the contractor, see how things are moving forward. The airport, I had a little blurb in here about the plow truck. It's there's a circuit board that controls the plow, front plow, that for whatever reason decided to overheat and start smoking, and we don't allow smoking in the trucks, so they got sent away to the mechanic, and we're hoping by the end of this week it'll be back. So in the interim, we've lent a truck from the North Transportation Crew over to the airport to help. For the most part, the airport's been working well. I have a blurb in here about, it was just kind of weird. The Can West called the airport to get runway conditions. He said, there's snow on it right now, but give me 2 hours, I can have it cleared. I said, no worries. We were not coming in anyway. And then the hospital called us directly and asked why we would not open the airport. Because they were told that the airport was not willing to open the runway. That was not the case. So I just want council to be aware of that. We then contacted Can West and said, hey, look, we are willing to open the airport. And they said, no, it's okay. So don't know what happened, if they ended up just driving the patient. I don't know anything past that, but just so you all are aware.
So you have no idea where the hospital got their information from, saying that.
They just said the Can West told them.
And then Canvas
They were not,
denied that.
they were, yeah, it was false information. Because, yeah, anytime that we get called to open the runway, our operator strives to do that, and it takes about 2 hours to open the Center 6.
Just a comment on that, please in future get a contact details, whether it's an email address or something like that, so we can actually send confirmation. As discussed, runway is open.
Yeah.
Just to cover our side of business.
Yeah, that's not a very good look for the county if that's what they're.
No, and that's, I was kind of, yeah, when they called, they're like, well, why are you guys not opening the runway? And I'm like,
We will.
it's me. That's totally out of character for our operator, and then when I confirmed it with him, so. But yeah, I mean, they have had issues at all sorts of airports, as I'm sure you all know, but. Spring runoff, we're already starting to think about this, because we've already seen some issues in certain areas, where snow has been removed from residents or industrial lots and placed within our ditch. We're actually today dealing with some of that north of Manning, just because of the conditions right now. When we see a warm up like this, the water fills the culvert, freezes. Come spring, it is a battle. So we are doing a little bit of that here north of town. We will be as well talking about, and it's not confirmed yet, but getting rid of some of the snow in North Star. We've already done some in Dixonville. Just to help prevent flooding in the hamlets, as well as other areas of the county. Like, we're gonna look at problem areas, would be high priority, get some cats in, open the ditches so that the spring does not hit us too hard. But that being said. Record amount of snow. We're preparing for, some fairly significant road repairs in the spring. Just due to flooding, right?
So have you? You got all them steamers are good?
Yeah, so it's funny, the ones that we replaced, we still. I have them on a list for surplus that I have not brought to you guys yet, and it's not going to happen. Because we need every available steamer that we have, we're gonna have extra trucks rigged up. And just do our best to tackle everything that we can. That being said, I mean, we only have so many people, and so many pieces of equipment, so we may have to bring in additional contractors to help steam. I don't know yet, but that is a thought in our heads as well.
Do you have, do you keep casuals on the list, like to call in? I noticed you mentioned somewhere there, you called someone in.
Yeah, so in my next, or one of my reports here, we did bring on a casual to come help us out because. Well, a couple of reasons, just extra hands on deck and. Have a staff member going on for surgery, so we're gonna be down a full-time staff member, so it is very. Handy that this individual was around. To be able to work. That being said, it's hard to find people right now, everybody's either working oil field or. Whatnot, so.
Okay, thanks, Charles. Any questions on this report?
So, there's we've seen on some culverts, we've seen like put a 2-inch black, the water line, 2-inch black water line through the culverts. How effective is that? I mean, it's better than nothing. I almost feel like seeing, is that, what's your take on that?
It depends on the culvert, like if you're over a 600 mil culvert, it's a little more effective. Like the small ones. It's not effective at all, really.
I'd argue with you, because
It's,
I do that at home. I got a couple culverts in my yard, and they're just 8-inch casing is all they are, and
Yeah.
I'm not. At least you got somewhere to.
yeah, and that's the benefit to it.
Works very well, I mean.
Yeah, it's one of those things, it's. Sometimes, and it all depends too, like if they end up. Moving on, right,
Mhm.
or.
Well, you've got a lot more to look after than
Yeah.
my two of that. But they can be effective.
They can, yeah, oh, for sure, to put them in all the culverts or all the problem culverts and. Cost a significant amount of money. But it's something that we have done in the past on some of the really big problem ones. But.
Limited effectiveness and everything.
Yeah, it is, and then, I mean, at the end of the day, with these problem areas, we expose the culverts anyway in late winter, early spring. So we know where the culvert is, so it's just easy enough to send that steamer rod through it anyway. So I don't really see from a cost benefit standpoint to put them in everywhere. There are some in the county.
All right, thanks for that.
Okay, any other questions? I'll get a motion to accept the DPW report for information. Councillor Reese, all in favor, carried. Item B, Range Road 224 reclassification.
Reeve, can we actually just skip down to 632 and do that classification after?
Do the snowplow report?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, yeah, we can go to 6.3.2, item A is a snowplow report. Fairly got for us.
Fairly thick report for you guys. As we are all aware, it was not a favorable December. We had few issues. So we kept everything running the best we could equipment wise. As you can see from my list of issues and the breakdowns. We had 2 graders up here that were down for a total of 4 days. And in December, we didn't have any graders down in the south. Thankfully. We brought on, well, as I said earlier, we brought on a casual employee as well as extra contractors that were able to help us. The problem there is when it was really cold, they ran into issues of breakdowns. We had one contractor blew a motor. We had one lost all heat, poor operator frozen when he got home, but so we had those issues, and I mean, when a grader goes down, it's not ideal, obviously. So they put in our county operators put in 300 more hours than a typical December. And that's for all 11 staff that are running equipment. We also brought on extra contracted help. So that was a total of 114 hours. As well as our regular contracted graders, they put in a fairly substantial amount of time as well. We did end up helping one of the full-time contractors because he was having trouble keeping up. He was just getting hammered left, right, and center, and he'd open stuff up and it'd be snowed right back in, and the wind was definitely not in their benefit. All in all here, like for the month of December alone, it's over $200,000 in contractor costs. And that's just contractors, so it's not staffing and our costs. Something too here is on the administrative side. So obviously we all know that come big snowfalls, we get a surge of phone calls. We had 316 phone calls from 42 people. About 10 to 15% were called abusive phone calls. And we dealt with the situations as they arose. Some instances, we had already plowed a road, but then with the wind drifting everything in, it doesn't look like we were there 2 hours later. So it was fighting a losing battle for a good chunk of December anyway. Driveway plowing. This is one here that's.
Can I ask you a question about the administrator?
Yeah.
So I was getting complaints, in Ward 3.
Yeah.
And I just directed her, and it was the week of Christmas.
Yeah.
So it was like the office was closed. I still directed her to phone the office, because I know there's an emergency contact.
Yeah, there's on call, yeah.
And then also already told Josh what was happening as well. And he said he didn't know when, like the South Lead was the one on that.
Yes.
All that, and he didn't know when he would get to it. So I'm wondering, like, how often does he check the phone? Like,
Well, no, so he was taking calls as they came in.
oh, so they go directly to.
Yeah, it goes directly to,
Oh,
yeah, it goes to his cell.
Oh.
So those calls are.
I thought they had to leave a message and then you had to check. Oh,
No, like if he missed the call, then yes, if
Okay.
he was out in Greener or something.
Oh, okay, well, that's better.
We also had a weird instance where somebody called a complaint into road data, the overweight permit people. And so then I'm the contact for road data, and they called me and they're like, we don't know what to do with this, like. And I'm like, well, I'll take your number and I'll call.
Okay, well, that's good. I was just wondering how that process worked.
Jay, I just got a
Oh,
comment.
yeah, yeah.
So I just want to reiterate what you said, 328 calls,
No, 16.
316
Yeah.
from 42 or 43 people playing.
Mhm.
And I did give them instruction before I went on holidays that if there's any abuse of language towards them, they are free to put down the phone and ask them to calm down and pull back again. So if there's any complaints about that you guys receive, that on me. I can't have them, I mean, they're just doing their job.
And one thing too, some people actually called into the office and just left a message on the office voicemail. So that might have been a situation there where they didn't go through the steps in the phone system to
Oh,
get a hold of someone.
sure, I'm not
Yeah.
sure what happened again.
Yeah.
Just told her. Passed it on to that.
Yeah, and that's, yeah, it's best to
Because
just
it's not
listen to
really-
the system and it's fairly simple to get through it. Whichever way you need to go.
This,
Because the other thing too, like I take supervisor on call. I think I'm on until the end of this week. And then the South Lead will be on again, but I mean, I take 4 or 5 calls a day over the weekend and it's usually easy things. But yeah. The driveway plow. So over the month of December, we took 28 new posts or applications. During this time, we've got everybody that is able running equipment. We do not have a body to spare to go and inspect a driveway before we issue a snowplow post. This has been a bit of an issue, and one of the things that I would like council to consider after we're done going through this, we can discuss it a little more, but putting a pause on the 2026 snowplow posts and not the new applications. Right now, it is a very difficult time to, well, have somebody to go do it. And from a safety standpoint, we can't thoroughly inspect a driveway when there is the amount of snow that we've got. Even in a regular year, it's not really feasible. So it's one of the further down in the report here, one of the lessons learned is there needs to be a cap and a deadline on snowplow applications because I can't inspect a driveway that I can't see. Just one of the things that you learn from events like this, right? As well, so in this report too, I did I'm gonna take credit for it, but I called around and I got all the information from surrounding municipalities on what they do for snowplow. And I gave that information to you guys for consideration. Actually. Okay, so moving on here. There's been a lot of misunderstandings on who is supposed to be doing what when it comes to snowplowing. Because we get calls about highways, etc. So I did a little breakdown here for you guys about who does what and what we are responsible for. The highways obviously is Alberta Transportation, which is contracted to La Prairie. We do pass along concerns and stuff because we've got a fairly decent working relationship with both organizations. Their responsibility also includes entrances to residents off of highways, turning lanes, rest areas, and road intersections within their right-of-ways. CN crossings, that is 5 meters either side of the crossing. We are not allowed to be within that zone. They get very touchy with that. We have, every year we get the letter, I included it in your guys' package here. We've reached out to them multiple times over the course of this course of December and into January. To deal with some of their rougher crossings, they're more focused on the highway crossings. And mainly because Alberta Transportation waved a pretty big stick at them with Transport Canada and getting them involved. So like Meikle River crossing, for example, that one got dealt with because of transportation going down Transport Canada Road. But regardless, we can't be within their infrastructure, and rightfully so. I don't wanna have to pay to fix a rail, but. Canada Post mailboxes, that is on Canada Post, and this has all been confirmed with the Canada Post management here locally. They, in larger centers, they will hire private contractors to do it, but we're not in that boat. And then our stuff, so our township range roads, county/community infrastructure, which is our 2,000 kilometers of road, 17 water fills, 7 transfer stations, 2 landfills, and then residential driveways as they come up, and community halls. It's worth noting too, 250 customers are currently signed up for the snowplow program. And we've done more this year already than all of 24, 25. So. Okay, so common concerns. 170 of the 316 phone calls we were talking about were specifically related to roads, and 125 were for snowplow. So a lot of times, if you live on a highway, we ask you to call in if you have a snowplow post, because the grader doesn't always drive by your house if it's on a highway. So we don't want to forget about you and get you done. There were some issues with ridges and driveways that were rectified. Roads not being opened. Like I said here already, we would plow something open. 2 hours later, the wind drifts everything in, makes it look like we hadn't even been there. We also, extra contractors, if they weren't aware of a certain area that they were supposed to be in, or if a tractor had plowed something and it looked like it was plowed, they're not going to go plow something that was already plowed. Doesn't make sense. And again, roads plowed with tractors and other equipment. I mean, this is, while intentions may be good, it poses issues for us. Not just from well, it looked plowed, we moved on. It's leaving ridges in intersections that are the safety hazard to traveling public.
Not waiting on waiting.
Yeah, not winging it out. Like, it's just, they can potentially end up removing the crown out of the road, taking the snow base off of the road, which poses more issues as well. Because then when you get a warm like this, you can scrape it off and get the ruts out of the road. But the main thing is the safety hazard to traveling public. They're not insured, WCB, stuff like that we require to be working on our roads. So also CN crossings are rough. We've already kind of touched on this. We've tried to get CN to deal with it, but like I said, their priorities are elsewhere.
On that issue, some of these crossings are so bad that I can see a lower vehicle actually getting stuck trying to cross because you had to almost stop. It was so bad, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a safety issue for them. Clearly, I mean, North Star, it was weeks, they did nothing, right?
Oh,
I understand that they're swamped too, but I mean, to the point where someone could get stuck on the tracks, that's a serious issue, so.
well, and that's, I mean, not to defend them by any means, but they have those little blue signs that are on the crossings. That have what the crossing number is and a 1-800 number. So that if you are ever stuck on a rail crossing, you call that number and they stop anything coming towards you. But also if there is an issue, that is who residents can call, help us to. Because I mean, we've dealt with CN plenty and we know how that goes. It is a very difficult organization to deal with. Yeah, there's not a whole lot more that we can do. As a municipality, like we've reached out to that Julianne that you put me in contact with Terry. And I have yet to receive a response from her.
Really.
Yeah. And usually she was pretty good, and so I don't know what's going on there. I'm gonna keep poking at the bear. But to what end?
All I did for our road 695. Put it on Facebook. Stop, or you're gonna end up, the vehicle's gonna get wrecked.
Yeah.
Because it was horrible there too.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean, that's part of what I've done. It was a counselor from my ward. Everybody said they appreciated it because it gave them money, especially some of the logging trucks that are on that road right now. So we
Yeah,
all
I
have a
mean-
responsibility as people ourselves to.
100%, and we all remember the ordeal that it was to get that crossing dealt with, sightlines. So
Same thing.
come June, they'll deal with it.
That Highway 35 by Hawk Hills,
That's
I mean,
all.
that was
Yeah.
horrible, right? There was a few vehicles ended up in the ditch because of that, and
Oh,
obviously there's broken plastic on it, and they finally got it fixed, but
Yeah.
I mean, the snow has come so fast that nobody could react to it in time, right?
oh, for
It
sure,
doesn't take
yeah,
long
it
to
did.
get packed.
Yeah, blindsided everybody and. Yeah, we doing the best we can, that's what we got.
I think you guys did a good job.
And we're going to Nampa, the railroad crossing there was the same thing, right? And that's a
Yeah.
lot busier highway, and
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing too, like, the priorities for transportation and I'm assuming CN. For highways is your single digit highways, then your double digits, and then your triple digits, so it's. Yeah, not ideal, because I mean, Dixonville Highway was a bad one. For a while.
just going back to your comparisons of other municipalities, what's our average grader beat in kilometers?
200.
200?
Yeah.
Can we speak to this issue or it's on the table?
Pardon me?
Can we speak to this issue that's on the table?
Let's let him finish his report first. Normally we wait till the end of the meeting, Jim, but we'll allow you guys to speak since you're here, but we'll let Charles finish his report first.
Okay, another one here that popped up a few times that I just, in case any of you got the same, one is, that the county should have mutual aid with surrounding counties or municipalities rather. For situations like this and that. While that's good in principle, everybody's in the same boat right now. So the closest, other than our contractors that we've got locally that have spare equipment that they can lend or contract to us. There's no other assistance available. We're all kind of in the same boat right now, so.
Some are worse off, some are struggling worse than we were.
Yes.
So,
And just to do a knee-jerk reaction based on the snowfall this year would be not very advisable, because I mean, this is not an every year occurrence apparently. We can put more graders on the road and stuff like that, but it's gonna be an unnecessary cost that we're not gonna have every year.
Yeah.
So,
I think just like while we're on the complaint thing, most of the complaints that I took were over who was responsible.
Yep.
So as part of maybe the lessons learned portion, like, cause this report, like, I appreciate this so much, this is so much good information and I think that's great. Maybe we can do an information thing on social media or something to let people know who is responsible, because 95% of the calls I took, I'm like, you're on a highway, that's not our jurisdiction, or other complaints related to that. And then they were like, oh, really? You don't grade that? And I'm like, yeah, really, we don't. So, you know, I think it would maybe take it as an educational opportunity
Yeah.
to let people know.
Well, and when I had somebody proofread this, they made the comment that the who's responsible portion of this report would be a good thing to put out.
And I think that we need to share what we're doing as well, like combat some of that, right? Like, look at the hours in there, like, we weren't doing nothing, right? Like, and I think we're really bad at sharing the things that we're good at. Well, it's frustrating, absolutely, nobody could keep up with the snow plowing, but we were doing our best with what we had. And I think that needs to be shared.
No,
Well, I mean, at budget deliberations, and we see these big items like snowplow trucks and graders, we, but we approve it, and I think we give you guys the best tools
Oh,
that you asked for, and, like Garrett, to Garrett's point, to double that, I don't think that would be,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be a responsible use of our funds, right, to.
no, absolutely not. I mean, in the budget deliberations that I've been a part of since we've been here, one of the hardest things to budget is the local road maintenance. Because how do you know when we're talking budgets in October that what the snow is gonna be like come December and January?
Or don't
We don't
surplus all of our steamers, because I guess we're
Yeah.
gonna need them. We're gonna surplus here, right?
That's just it.
It's
Like,
for sure, and it's a huge budget item, and
it is.
I think if we can give that feedback back to the residents and the ratepayers that like, look, like. We brought in extra people, we did all the hours, it wasn't like we were doing nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I think that was great that you were able to access contractors, and
It
I
was,
thought everybody would be busy and no contractors available from here to, Medicine Hat probably, but yeah, if you were able to source them,
it was.
and that's what you have to keep that relationship, I think, and.
100%,
For
yeah,
future.
we have. Well, I have a fairly decent relationship with contractors in the area. I mean. Well, I'll say it publicly, because I will not. Diminish what they've done for us, but Attack, North Point, and Stat have been huge helps, as well as Trailblazers and. RT Grading, like they all did amazing for us. They stepped up, especially Attack and North Points. If we needed a grader, he was searching for an operator to put in the seat, and he flat out said, if I can't find one, I'll get one. So they did phenomenal for us, and I cannot be more thankful.
And I think some of the lessons learned, and maybe Jim will speak to that, is. In the defense of the contractors that you hired on the spur of the moment, they don't know our routes, right?
Yeah.
And so they did their best, but they might have missed the odd place because they weren't.
Yeah.
Oh, I was, I'm looking at a map or whatever you gave me here. And
Yeah.
so that can go into the lessons learned
Oh,
category, right? But,
yeah, there's, and it already is, so like, it's one of those things that it was a very knee-jerk reaction here at the very beginning, and things were very chaotic. For a few weeks, but we adjusted, we got things a little more streamlined, but I'd like to see it even more. So,
Yeah.
but that's bigger discussion. And the last tier for resident concerns was just wanting field access roads open right away, and it's. Like we've said, the level of service is there for this reason, that we deal with our collectors. Or at / main roads, and then residential and field access when we can. But yeah, so anyway, under lessons learned here, like level of service. So as I've got an RFD here, we'll speak to later. There was a few small sections. Says that maybe should not be classified as field accesses. Just due to where they are, the length of them, like. We know this is not a perfect system. It's forever evolving. I think I bring one of these to you guys every couple of months. But it's this thing that we're gonna take and review fairly thoroughly, and then I know Gary, you mentioned that there's some that you want looked at and 100%. But yeah, we will be kind of going through a thorough review of these here. Snowplow policy, I already kind of touched on this, but I'm gonna touch on it again. Doing new applications this time of year, not ideal. Snowfall, like a major snow event like this or not. We to adjust.
And I honestly thought that there was a deadline like the dust control, until I went back and looked, I'm like, oh wow, it is.
Yeah. Well, and it hasn't been an issue
Yeah,
in the past,
for sure.
but then you get a major weather event like this and it becomes an issue. And that's where I said, it's take something like this to kind of see all the faults in the system. The greater routes can be and contractor management, tied into the level of service, but maybe a little better coordination can happen with contractors. And we have already kind of implemented that, so that we give them the level of service map, but also, hey, talk to the grader that's in that area, because if they're going over to the west side, there's no point in you following them over there, go to the east side type thing, right? And work your way to the middle.
Do they have a radio contract with your guys, like with your
Yeah, and most of them just use cell phones.
cell phones?
Yeah.
Because you're right, that communication is pretty important, right?
Oh, it is, yeah. Yeah, and then if somebody breaks down too, then we know,
We're stuck.
well, now we don't have a grader there, so we need to adjust some more. We will be having a meeting with all of the internal staff. Myself, Deb, all the grader operators and lead hands. To go over what worked, what didn't work, and what should we see improved. I don't know when that meeting will take place, but sometime in the near future, hopefully. Cause yeah, it's been a little hectic. Also, just one thing I'd like to touch on too, is I included here an operating days summary for you guys. This shows that there was not a single day in December that there was not a grader working. The days with 2 X's on the CNL line is days that we had extra contracted assistance. Other than that, any questions?
Well, I'll allow Jim to speak. Jim, if you have a question, if you got something you wanted to comment on, I heard.
Yeah. They have signs on all of these roads here about maintenance and everything, and in this time where this, all the snow come in, they were plowing roads that don't need to be plowed. Now, the MD has to go over all of these roads and identify which's got people on it, which don't, and which needs to be plowed and which don't. But they were plowing roads that nobody needs to be on.
Yeah.
Wasting time.
So we need specific road numbers, right? I mean.
Well, I can touch on it anyway.
Sure, go ahead.
So what happens is, like we said here previously, you bring in extra contractors that don't necessarily know the area. They're just trying to get everything open for us.
That's not an excuse. If you have a map that identifies these places, that you don't go on until after everything is done. And I understood that they were only gonna grade those roads once if you had grain down there. Other than that, there was no graders gonna go down there in the winter time. So that's not what I'm seeing out there.
But Jim, I mean, these people are humans too, right? I mean, there's a snowstorm going on, there's snow every direction, we hire these contractors that aren't familiar. So if they went down a road by mistake, I mean, that's a lesson learned again. We can't change that, whether they should have or not. I agree, they probably shouldn't have, but that was an honest mistake. I don't think they're out there trying to put hours in or trying to do the best to reach everybody. So you say it's not an excuse, I think it's an honest mistake. I'm not calling it an excuse.
I'd like to see what the MD's emergency plan is. At one time, they used to have all of the farmers that have these big tractors. We'd call them out in an emergency like this, and they'd be out plowing.
I'm not familiar with that.
So,
And
Is there such a thing? I never.
That hasn't been, well, since Deb's been here 17 years, so she hasn't, you know, but.
we had people that didn't get out of their yard for a month. You got lots of old people out in the MPs that if something happened, they could have never got an ambulance in there.
Yes, they would have. And speaking with first responders, that's not an issue. They will get you out. Like,
Okay, thanks, Jim. Phil?
Just one quick question. On Saturday, which I would think is not, the big snow is over, things are, the pressure's hot. My question is this, why on a Saturday, which is an overtime time, do you send a grader to grade down to the white mud cabins, which is just a winter cabin? The grader gets stuck, they have to haul a cat in to pull the grader out, and the exact same thing happened last winter. Why are you sending a grader down to plow out somebody's winter cabin, knowing the grader's gonna get stuck and it's gonna.
so that was a contract operator that holds a contract with us. He made that decision on his own. That was not the county decision to send him down there. He decided to go open that up, and he got stuck, and they are but taking the bill for the cat. We are not.
So the question is that a road that is normally open in the winter? Up to your policy of the way the roads are.
wouldn't it be one of them that if they requested it?
Yeah, it would,
Why
yeah.
those?
Yeah, it would be by request, but he probably went, and his mindset was that. If we get another dump of snow, like what is forecasted, then. He should have. The previous dump of snow taken off of him. So that we can actually get down there with the grader, rather than having to hire a cat to put them. And open it up.
But if he was a contract grader, did the MD send him down there? Or did
No,
he
he
just
did
go
not.
on his own?
He went on his own.
He was working for you guys.
And he has his area that he opens up. And he made that decision to go down into that area.
Okay, any other questions for Charles on the snowplow report? We have a MPC meeting to go to, so we have to adjourn this conversation, but if there's no more questions, I'll get a motion to, and just, yeah, great report, Charles. I mean, there was a lot went on in a short time. And I think you summarized it quite well here, what happened, and hopefully the School of Hard Knocks is always the best teacher.
Yes, it is.
Right, these were unusual circumstances, I'm just from my own experience, it was pretty much a full-time job just to keep my own driveway and yard plowed out, and I didn't have time to do anything else. I mean, I was just swamped and I got, quarter mile of the driveway. So I appreciate the challenges and, tied some screw up, went.
And this isn't,
Pretty well.
yeah, it's not unique to the County of Northern Lights. I've seen other municipalities have had way worse outcomes with the snow event, so I think.
All the ones that Deb called here to get the information for you guys. Yeah, they're having the same problem.
Yep.
So
And maybe
we're
worse.
not special.
Okay, so I get a motion to acknowledge the receipt.
So
We'll come back to your.
can we
request,
come
okay?
back to
Yeah, we have
the,
an MPC meeting right now, so.
Okay.
Okay, Councillor Liskey has made a motion to acknowledge receipt of the snowplow report, accept the information, any other discussion, comments, all in favor? Carried, adjourn the meeting for now, and I'll turn it over to the chair of our Municipal Planning Commission meeting.
Thank you, Terry. Good morning, everyone. We'll call the Municipal Planning Commission meeting to order at 11:03. Before we continue, council would like to pass on their condolences on the loss of your colleague Debbie. Is that, I can't see who's there. Is it Gail?
I'm sorry, I can hardly hear you.
Oh, sorry. Council would like to pass on our condolences on the loss of your colleague Debbie Gale.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, she's going to be missed. Heartbreaking. But thank you very much.
We'll move on to adoption of the agenda. Is there any additions to the agenda?
I'll move acceptance, Chair.
Thank you, Deb. All in favor? Or David? All in favor? Move on to 3.0 adoption of the minutes of the last December 9th meeting. Any errors or omissions?
I'll move adoption of minutes.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Well, then we'll move on to 4.0 B1, and it looks like Gail, you're going to do that report, BP-25-31.
Yes. Thank you. So the applicant proposes to locate a 45-meter communication tower on Lot 1, Block 1, Plan 1420084 on part of the Northeast 369023 west of the 5th. The parcel is 5.64 hectares or 13.94 acres in size and is designated Agriculture General A District. The proposed tower is defined as public utility and listed as discretionary use within this district. The applicant has indicated that the tower, made of steel, requires a pile footing with safety light and lightning protection and will be located within a fenced 3-meter by 3-meter compound. The quarter section is located at the southwest corner of Township Road 910 and Range Road 230 and 6.1 kilometers north of North Star and 9 kilometers southeast of Manning. The parcel is located midway through the quarter and is accessed from Range Road 230. The parcel contains the residence and farm-related buildings with a small portion of land in agriculture production. An unnamed creek surrounded by trees runs diagonally through the parcel. An environmental easement registered on title requires a minimum setback from the unnamed creek to minimize potential damage from flooding and bank erosion or sloughing of the water body. The proposed tower is located well outside this area. Range Road 230 is designated as a residential road and Township Road 910 is designated a resource road. The applicant, in accordance with Industry Canada requirements, advertised a location and a description of the proposed development in the Mile Zero banner post on October 15, 2025. As per Section 4.2 of the Innovation, Science and Economic Development Canada, a letter describing the proposed project was also sent to adjacent landowner. No comments and/or concerns were received from either members of the public or the adjacent landowner. Alberta Energy Regulator, Pembina Pipeline Corporation, and TELUS all responded and indicated they had no concern with the proposed development. It is recommended that the application for the location of a 45-meter communication tower on Lot 1, Block 1, Plan 1420084 on part of the Northeast 369023 west of the 5th be approved subject to the 7 conditions outlined.
Thank you, Gail. Council, any questions from Gail?
I'll make a motion to approve the permit with the 7 conditions.
Thank you, Carrie. All in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Gail.
Thank you.
So, miscellaneous, so we'll move to adjournment of the meeting at 11:07.
You can reconvene the regular meeting. We will be back to page 1 of the agenda. Under the delegation will have a public hearings. 4.0A, public hearing for proposed land use bylaw 25-61-504. So I will declare the public hearing open at 11:07. We welcome all participants. So I will ask what the nature of the proposed bylaw be read into the record. And Pearl, I'll have you do that for us. Well, good morning.
Morning. All right. So in accordance with county policy, land use bylaw amendment number 2561-504 was given first reading on Tuesday, December 9th at the council meeting. Today's public hearing is to allow for the public to make any comments regarding the bylaw amendment, which is for our CCAN use.
Okay, thank you. Have all advertising announcements been met?
Yes, this bylaw was posted in the Mile Zero banner post on December 10th and 17th, 2025, and on the county's website.
Okay, thank you. So we'll follow our usual rules of conduct during this hearing. So I'll ask for you to do the presentation for the bylaw.
Okay. So to just read it through?
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Okay, bylaw 2161-504. Whereas the council of the County of Northern Lights, Province of Alberta, has adopted a land use bylaw, and whereas the council has the authority under the provisions of the Municipal Government Act, RSA 2000, as amended to amend the land use bylaw. And whereas the council of the County Northern Lights deem it desirable to amend the land use bylaw number 1261-90. Now, therefore, the council of the County of Northern Lights duly assembled hereby enacts the following: that section B definitions be amended in part to add as follows. CCAN, also known as the shipping container or CCAN, is a reusable steel container of varying dimensions with one or more access doors. That section D2, when development permits are not required, be amended to include the following: a single CCAN that is to be utilized as a storage structure, whether temporarily or permanently, and is not affixed to any permanent structure, i.e. a lean-to structure, is not connected to power or any other utility, placed on a new concrete foundation, or located within the following land use districts: K3 Country Residential CR1, K4 Country Residential Agricultural CR2 District, K5 Country Residential Estate CR3 District, K6 Country Residential Restricted CR4 District, K7 Hamlet H District. Development regulations for CCAN to be added to section I, general regulations as I-40 as follows. I-41, no CCAN or any portion thereof shall be erected or placed within the front yard of any parcel unless approved by the Development Authority. I-40.2, any CCAN can be approved to be located in the front yard shall be adequately screened to the satisfaction of the Development Authority if applicable. I-40.3, a maximum of one CCAN can be allowed in a hamlet district. I-40.4, a maximum of one CCAN may be allowed in a country residential district unless otherwise approved by a development authority. I-40.5, in a hamlet or country residential district, a CCAN shall be situated on an interior lot. The exterior wall shall be at least 0.93 feet from the side and rear lines of the parcel. I-40.6, in a hamlet or country residential district, a CCAN or on a corner lot shall be situated so that its side yard, which borders on a road, shall not be less than the side yard of the main building. I-40.7, a CCAN located on a parcel shall not be used as a dwelling unit unless approved by the Development Authority. I-40.8, stacking CCANs on top of each other unless approved by Development Authority for residents is prohibited. Bylaw continues to say that CCANs can be added as discretionary use in the following districts: K3 Country Residential General CR1, K4 Country Residential Agricultural CR2 District, K5 Country Residential Estate CR3 District, K6 Country Residential Restricted CR4 District, K7 Hamlet District. Any questions?
Okay, thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Have there been any written submissions in support of the proposed amendment?
No written submissions have been received.
Okay. Any written submissions opposed to the proposed amendment?
No written submissions have been received or expressed.
Okay. And any verbal submissions in support of the proposed amendment?
No verbal submissions of support were expressed.
Just turn to the gallery and there's hearing none. Any verbal submissions opposed to the proposed amendment?
Someone.
You're opposed?
I are.
Okay, go ahead and make your submission. Just state your name for the record.
Bill Butkus from Deadwood. I realize that the county wants to control development within our municipality, and I understand that. But this bylaw is written very, very poorly and hard to understand, and I will go through and point out each one. Number two, why is everything written backwards? When the development permits are not required, why do you not write it? This is when a development permit is required, as opposed to put it in backwards, and it is really hard to understand when you need a permit and when you don't need a permit. Section 1.40. You cannot put a CCAN in your front yard unless approved by the development authority. Where are the specifics in your policy on what will be allowed and what not? Because to leave something to the discretion of a development authority is leaving it to someone's personal decision and can be manipulated if you like the person or not. Number 140.2. The same thing. If the development authority approves it, put in the front yard, you gotta have some kind of discretion. I remember when I sat on council and Mr. Kalina tried to get a development permit, and half of the board did not like him, and he was rejected, just because they didn't like him. Now, number 3 and 4 on that. I know what the intention of this is, but it's not what it says. A maximum of 1 CCAN may be allowed in a hamlet district. So does the first person get a CCAN and nobody else does? Because it says only 1 per hamlet, not one per acre or 1 per lot. Is that what your intention was? The first person gets one, either in a hamlet or a country residential? Be clear on this. And it also says, again, you may have more than one on the discretion of the development authority. You guys are just leaving this wide open to be discriminated against. Now, number 40.6. I would ask any of you to explain to me what that one really means, because I have no idea. Shall be situated that a side yard which borders on a road shall be not less than the side yard of the main building. What the heck does that mean? Again, number 7, again, you're leaving it to the development authority. And number 8, the development authority. If you're gonna leave it to development authority, there better be a set of guidelines on what they're making decisions on when it's approved and when it's not approved. Because that is just too bizarre.
Okay, so did you understand all his questions? Or several on there?
Yeah, I got them. I'm gonna work down in chronological and we can discuss about it openly.
Yep. Go ahead.
So the first one, the section D2, to understand why it's written this way, section D2 is when development permits aren't required. And so what a lot of people do is they flip to that section first if they're looking for something and they want to see, I don't need a development permit for CCANs, right? And I'm not going to look into another area. I'm not going to check the district and go further. So the reason we have it listed as when it's not required unless XYZ is because that's often how it's used, is people flip to that section. And if they see, I don't need a permit for CCANs, then they're not going to go back into their zoning and look a lot of the time. So it's kind of a safeguard for that.
Okay, so it says are not required, and then you just look down, country residential. But no, it's.
Unless it's not required, unless it's
so,
nice.
So nobody's even gonna see that is not. That's where it's really confusing.
So
I when I read it first, I thought, oh God, you can have them anywhere, and you really don't need a development permit. Then when I read it through really carefully, oh, when it's not a hamlet or country residential or state.
So this whole section would be when you don't need a permit, and then the stating and is not, we bolded it to catch your eye. I understand that it's harder to see, But if we didn't put the conditions in which you do need one there, oftentimes people would think that they don't and then run with that, right? They're not gonna check further. So that is why we wrote that you can have one generally without getting a permit unless you hit one of these criteria below. Right, so it hits the certain zonings and the conditions in which council has decided it would be discretionary. If you have suggestions for how to improve that for clarity, I don't mind listening to them and taking them back and seeing what I can do. Just in practice, people do go to that section D2. If it says I don't need a permit, they're not gonna look anywhere else.
Right, so if I go look for something, do I need a driver's license? I'm gonna go look, do I need a driver's license, not where, don't I need? So why don't you just put it in here? This is where you require a development.
It's dual hit, where you go to this, if you go to our land use bylaw, which I have here. And you go to like one of your districts, you'll see all the situations that you need a discretionary or a permitted use permit. This is a 2 spot we can kind of get people the same information, because truthfully, even I might look through it all the way, but there's people in our county that don't. They look for when I don't need a permit and then they're done. Or they'll search the document and that's the first section that comes up for CCAN. They'll look at that word, they're not gonna look further.
Okay. Everyone.
But again, open to suggestions. The reason why we cite, and I understand your concerns definitely of the unless otherwise approved by the development authority, it's pretty standard language used in our land use bylaw because it kind of allows us an opportunity to address any situations that aren't in our framework. So we see this in situations where people want to build a garage on one lot and they have a home in the other, right? Typically, our bylaw says you can't build a garage without a home on that lot, but this having the framework of unless otherwise approved by a development authority lets it come to council and be presented to them in order for their approval to make those minor changes or minor variances to let people do the most with their property while still being as compliant as possible with our land use bylaw. On the note of your discrimination or our opinions impacting it, that is why everything is so redacted to who it is. Legal land locations are still presented because it's very important to what you're considering. Where it's located is a factor, right? How close to rivers and all of those things. But having the development authority is not meant or intended to let people have special benefits because they know someone. It's not meant or intended to it's not meant to be harmful, right? The intention behind it is to make special circumstances still possible. Yeah. So we
often have one-offs.
Yeah.
That.
We have one-offs that pop up, right? So it allows them to not just be denied off the cuff. It lets them take their case to council where it would be treated like this, where they go in front of everyone or I would go in front of everyone on their behalf. Never indicate who the applicant is and let them know what's trying to happen. Ultimately, we're not trying to stop development within the county, nor are we trying to favor anyone. We're just trying to make sure that things are done to what people want within following our laws and protecting the other taxpayers.
Can I just make a comment there as well? Yeah, please. So there's also, I mean, I heard you saying earlier that there could be a vindictive council and blocking something like that. There's the recourse to that is there's an appeals process that's independent of council that will make a decision whether it's fair or not.
Yeah.
Don't see the name.
No.
We don't see the name anymore, Phil. Back in the day, they used to show the name. It's not, we don't see it as a council member. No one's name is on that.
So there's only the land location, and I don't know what the land location is and who owns it. You're kidding.
I don't go and look for it.
To be honest, most people, like a lot of people who call in for development questions, they don't even know their own legal land. They'll tell me they're off what highway and how many miles to drive down what road. But I do understand your concern, and that's why a lot of the times the people aren't presenting themselves. It's myself or our consulting firm that'll present, like you saw for that one development permit. It keeps bias out of it. And then there is that appeal process if you do feel that it was biased. There's 2 different routes depending on what type of development or subdivision file it is. But one is the Land and Property Rights Tribunal, and it's very efficient in doing what it does. If you feel there's concerns or that you were discriminated against or someone else got something because they were favored, You can always make an appeal through there to stop it.
So we did it with some clarification. Why do you need a permit to put a sea cannon on the property?
The reason that we brought this was because we had residents calling and inquiring about our framework for it, because they're looking at building other things, not just a sea can. They're looking at building a sea can house or a sea can shop. And that's where we needed the framework, because it didn't quite fall under a typical home or a shop. This gave us something for them to work with.
Brent, you had a comment?
Yeah, when we get a recommendation from ISL, whether there's a reason to turn it, so we can't just on a whim decide to turn something, we need a reason for it, right?
Oh, to turn it down,
Yeah,
yes.
and I've not seen that here in my time, I have not seen, people refuse for no reason, you know, if we get a recommendation to approve something, we're obligated to, unless there's some information that's come up that we weren't aware of, right? So.
But why this bylaw is here today is because a large number of calls were received from residents looking for what we defined it as, how we use it, where the guidance was within our county. So it got brought forward.
So, Pearl, I heard you say that there is processes in place to keep the bias out of this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
So
try.
I hope that answers, you know, you're saying council make a decision on a bias, they don't like somebody, no, I think there is a prescribed mechanism to avoid that, right? And then the wording, maybe we could change that wording on one per hamlet.
Yeah.
That is a little bit, that's not the intent of it, right?
Good,
Per hamlet
Yeah.
lot.
Or per,
Per
Per
hamlet
tax.
zone parcel. Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
there's a per taxable, or per lot.
Yep.
So we can make that amendment.
Yep.
Quite simply, right? Okay, so we've heard, opposition verbally to the submission, hopefully that's been addressed, I don't know.
Yeah, was there anything that I didn't address?
Yeah, that number 6, that is.
Oh, yes, okay. So I know that it's a little hard to understand. It took me a while, I won't lie, but it's,
Gotta talk to people who don't even read this stuff, but we can understand.
I know. Believe me, it was a learning curve for me to learn to read in this way. So basically what this is saying, if you're on a corner lot and you have your, I just want to read it exactly perfect. No. So if you're on a corner lot and then this is your road is here, the road is here, right? You've got two roads.
Side yard.
Yeah, so this is the main road and this is another road here. This would be considered your side yard. Your house has to be, I just want to make sure I have it all perfect here. Your house can't be closer than the sea can to that side yard. Oh no, did I get that
Even if it's
right?
in the backyard.
Yes,
Behind
because
the-
technically in our land use bylaw, any road makes that border becomes the front yard. So on a corner lot, they technically have two front yards. So you're treating it so that the sea can isn't in front of the house. That's the aim of that.
That's not very clear.
I know.
That's, my only point of this would be, I have no problem with someone putting 10 sea cans on their property, 2 in the front yard, 3 on the side. No concern whatsoever. So you guys are restricting it, so that you don't even know what's going on, who's building what, who's putting what here.
This follows the same setback as sheds. We're kind of treating it like a shed. It's just so that it doesn't end up blocking the front of the house if someone considers that to be their main road, right? Because everybody else on that corner lot who's living down this road, that's the front of their house. That's their front street. So they don't want to have a big shed blocking it. That's kind of the guide.
So is there anything in here, is this retroactive?
No, it would be new, from the date that its third and final reading is.
Just driving in here and go through North Star, and there's a guy with 2 in his backyard, another guy 1 on the side yard.
Yeah.
Are they gonna have to go find out the development permit? Because
No, they'd be
They have to.
grandfathered in.
Okay.
It'd just be going forward.
That
Yeah.
should be noted.
So,
It's for all land use bylaw amendments. If you were already existing, we can't show up and make you move your house. So we let them stay where they are.
So I agree, when this was first proposed to us as a draft bylaw,
Mhm.
and that whole side yard, front yard was confusing, but I think that you understand it and you can sit down with the applicant.
Yeah,
And-
we're just using language consistently throughout the bylaw.
Yeah.
It's not the clearest language, I will agree. It's just the most legally correct way to explain it.
I was gonna say, it's about as clear as legal terms.
Yeah.
And I mean, you had help with ISL to develop. this.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody from ISL wants to comment on it or.
Yeah, I think they're off the call now, but I-40 was with the help of ISL, yeah.
Okay, all right, well, thanks for your submissions, Phil,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna carry on with the hearing. So I'm gonna ask our girl for a recommendation.
Okay. Given what we've heard today, I recommend that we change I-40.3 and I-40.4 to indicate that it is per lot. Or amend the amendment.
And-
Thank you, Teresa.
Say the next one again.
I-40.4.
I-43 and I-44.
To indicate per lot.
Okay, perfect. Well, not perfect, good.
We'll clean it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I will ask if there's any questions from council.
I have a question. I don't know if it's put into this amendment. Do you have to add a definition for the pecan in the land use bylaw? Does it go into this? To this land use bylaw amendment, the definition of a pecan?
It is there, that's section B definitions.
Yeah. There. And so
Yeah,
if
just
it's
before one.
it's already there?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
We have it spelt as SEA can, and then as well as the letter C can, just because people refer to it differently.
Okay, any other questions, council? Okay, I'm going to adjourn this portion of the public hearing at 11:30. And we'll go to our next one. Declare the public hearing for bylaw 25-61-504 open at 11:30.
505?
505.
Did I say 505? Welcome everybody, and I'm gonna ask what the nature of the proposed bylaw be read into the record. And Earl, if you could read the purpose and the listen to this.
In accordance with county policy, land use bylaw amendment number 25-61-505 was given first reading at the Tuesday, December 9th, 2025 council meeting. Today's public hearing is to allow for public to make comment.
Okay, thank you. And have confirmation that notifications have all been met.
Yes, the bylaw was posted on the county website and in the Mile Zero banner post on December 10th or 17th and 24th.
Thank you. And we'll follow our usual rules of conduct that we'll be followed during this hearing. So I will ask you for the presentation on the land use bylaw.
All right. Bylaw number 25-61-505, being a bylaw for the purpose of amending the County of Northern Lights land use bylaw number 12-61-290. Whereas the Council of the County of Northern Lights, Province of Alberta, has adopted a land use bylaw, and whereas the Council has the authority under the provisions of the Municipal Government Act, RSA 2000, as amended to amend the land use bylaw. And whereas the Council of the County of Northern Lights deems it desirable to amend land use bylaw 12-61-290 now, therefore the Council of the County of Northern Lights duly assembled hereby enacts the following. 1. That the following amended definitions replace the current definition with the same title in section B definitions. Hamlet chicken means the keeping of up to 10 chickens, no roosters, in a secured chicken coop in a hamlet district. That the following discretionary uses be amended as follows in the land use K K7 Hamlet District, Hamlet chickens. That the following regulation be amended in the land use district K7 Hamlet District. K7.3 additional requirements, Hamlet chickens. A, up to 10 chickens are permitted. B, notwithstanding A, roosters are not allowed. C, chickens must always be kept within an enclosed chicken coop. D, Hamlet chickens are restricted to the rear yard of single detached or semi-detached dwellings only. E, a chicken coop shall follow the height limitation, side and rear yard setbacks as a standard accessory building. F, a development permit application will respond to the above noted regulations, and applicants must register online at the Government of Alberta identification website to receive their unique premise identification number as a condition of their development permit. G, the maximum term of a development permit issued is 1 year and shall be reviewed on an annual basis and may be renewed. An application for a renewal of a development permit for a Hamlet chicken uses shall take into consideration a review of complaints or concerns from adjacent landowners.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Have you received any written submissions in support of the proposed amendment?
No.
Okay, have you received any written submissions opposed to this proposed amendment?
No.
I'll call for any verbal submissions in support of the proposed amendment.
I did not receive any submissions of support verbally, but I did have a phone call with questions about it and how it would play out. She just wanted some clarity. As well as before we brought this, we had a few calls from people who their neighbors hadn't got the permitted within Dixonville. Yeah.
See no other verbal submissions opposed. Have you received, or in support, pardon me, have you received any verbal submissions opposed to the proposed amendment?
No.
Okay, I will, there we go. Just state your name again, Phil, just for the record.
Bill Fuzzikas from Deadwood. I mean, we're getting pretty picky when we're regulating chicken, but I have specific problems with this. If this is passed, you are basically doing cruelty to chickens. Nobody understands raising chickens. For example, several places you say chickens must be kept within a chicken coop at all times. Nobody locks their chickens in a chicken coop for their entire lives. The whole reason people want backyard chickens, so they can put them in their backyard to eat grass, bugs in their garden, and even in their front yards. That is absolutely cruel and unusual punishment for a chicken to be locked up for its entire life. Number on G. You only can get this permit for 1 year. It is a major expense to buy a chicken coop, but you gotta keep your chickens in for the whole year. It's gonna be insulated and heated and electricity. We're talking thousands of dollars, and you can only get a permit for 1 year. And then after the 1 year, where's the policy and procedures that if 1 or 2 of your neighbors complain about your chickens, you might not get your permit renewed after putting in this huge expense? Because there's nothing in here that tells me, oh, my complaint, my neighbor just doesn't like my chickens, they smell bad, they fly around, but they're locked in a coop. So I disagree with this 100%, unless it's changed major.
So can you speak to why it has to be in a coop and not allowed to be fenced?
Yeah, so these are chickens, specifically Hamlet chickens. We did a pilot project in Dixonville where we allowed people to have Hamlet chickens. We then received massive outcry from the community, from other communities, that they also want to keep Hamlet chickens and that this shouldn't be restricted to Dixonville. So what we did was we took what we used as framework for the pilot project and we applied that to all Hamlets. Everyone who's not in the Hamlet that wants chickens for the most part are in an agricultural parcel. They can have chickens without keeping them in a coop, no problem. The reason they're in a coop within the hamlet is because your lots are a little smaller, so you're pretty close to your neighbors. That's why we have the coop, and I get that it's not great and that no one probably is going to keep them all the time in that coop, but they'll keep them within a fence tied to the coop.
Okay, so it should be here, written in, or you have chicken trap, which is what most people keep their chickens with. Which is the fence enclosure has a little coop on the end, and they can move it around their yard,
Yeah.
and the chickens are free to run. So it should say a chicken tractor or a fenced compartment.
Okay, as long as it would still follow the setback requirements, we can definitely add that.
But I don't understand if you have a little part of the fence, that you can't move it right up to your property line, so the chickens eat the grass 3 feet from the property, like that's getting pretty chased. I mean, as a farmer and person who raises chickens.
They should be enclosed, basically.
Yeah, we want them
I understand
enclosed, yes.
Yeah.
But that's what a chicken tractor is, an enclosed.
But you could argue that a chicken tractor fits a similar definition of a coop, right? If I, okay,
Absolutely not. Chicken tractor is not a coop. A coop is an enclosed building. The chicken tractor is a portable fence.
They're both enclosed.
One is with one, so if you're gonna say a wired fence and an enclosed coop, no. You're stretching, make it clear, like to put that in there would take nothing. At least people would understand, like, yes, I can put them in, I can make a little, there's lots of people do it in their gardens, they'll just make a little 1 foot wide by 20 feet long, and they set it over the row and between the rows. And chickens can walk back and forth. That is not a coop, that is a chicken tractor. Put in a chicken trap.
does council feel that chicken tractor would be a good addition?
I don't know that we should call it a chicken tractor. I would say a coop with an attached run or something that's more
What about-
common for
Yeah,
people to
what about an
understand.
enclosure?
Okay, so you guys know nothing then about chicken. You read any book, and they always talk about a chicken tractor.
Well,
You have your coop, because you're not gonna move your coop stays as a permanent building, the tractor is just a portable fence. To keep the chickens controlled, you take them out of there, you put them in the coop at night, morning you put them back in the tractor.
Would a portable enclosure function in your terms of definition though? With does the chicken tractor have an open top?
No,
No, okay, so a portable enclosed structure,
I think we're.
because we have to keep it relatively general, so if people make something, it's not.
That's why I was thinking run, because people talk about dog runs and understand that in other bylaws that I've looked at, they use a term run as an enclosed structure that they stay in.
right, with the chickens, it's called a chicken.
I understand that. I know that as a chicken owner. I get that, but not everybody, if we're one use common language, then I think if I ask somebody what a run is versus a tractor, they might understand.
I'll provide a definition.
Whatever makes it more clear.
Yeah, we're all talking about the same thing, it's
Yeah,
just
for
we're
sure.
trying to find the right language, right?
Yeah.
That we understand these aren't free range chickens flying all over the hamlet, they're enclosed, so whatever the terminology is.
Okay, and then to keep going through some of the concerns that you had addressed there, the 1 year permit, the reason why it's 1 year and an annual basis is because we had people who were not keeping their animals properly, like they weren't keeping them on their own land. It was running across several neighbors. They had roosters that they weren't allowed to have. I'd love to be everywhere. I'm not bylaw enforcement. I'm the planning and development clerk, so I spend a lot of time in the office and I do go out, but I don't get to go out nearly as much as I would have to in order to know that there's no roosters, in order to know that these are all being followed. So when you do your 1 year application to renew, it is discretionary that it goes to your neighbors. 1 or 2 complaining likely won't stop it. That's not a great reason unless they're not keeping the animals on their own land. They're causing massive issues. That might be something council considers. But that's the reason that it's 1 year, is because the pilot project proved that we can't issue longer than a year.
So Pearl, could you explain the renewal process? It's not a public hearing again.
No.
It's just a simple renewal process. So
Yes.
somebody can't come in and say, I don't like my neighbor's chickens, I'm opposed to it. It doesn't work that way, right?
Well, we do take complaints and I would lodge them for that file, but say you came in, you had chickens for a year, you spent the money, your year's about to be up, say in June, and you want to reapply. I'd recommend you apply in April just because of the lapse time that it takes to do things legally with the MGA, but you come and apply, you and I go back and forth making sure I have all the information that I need to fit the county's requirements. That can take up to 20 days. And then we have a 40-day permit process to get approved. The reason it's so long is because discretionary permits we circulate to adjacent landowners, yes, but also AHS, forestry, all of those beautiful people. And that's when we get their comments. That's when we hear from the adjacent landowner, and then that summary, similar to what you saw with that communication tower that happened earlier, goes all through council in that massive reports. And then where they said that no concerns were received by TELUS, that's when we would say so-and-so's neighbor didn't particularly like, or we wouldn't say their name, but we would say the neighbor to the east, wouldn't like this, or the neighbor to the west. The complaint could be signed with their name, and I know that you laughed at that, but that if they sign it with their name on the form, then that goes to council, but people are made aware of all of that through the process. Yeah, it's a 1 year, it's annoying, sure, especially if you spent a lot, but if you're being denied, it's because you were a true undue hardship to your neighbors in having these chickens, and we haven't had anyone denied for them. We just had one person where they had a lot of complaints and they didn't reapply.
Okay, thanks, Pearl, for the great explanation. And I think you're doing it right. So I will now call for your recommendation.
Okay, based on our lovely discussion here, I would suggest that we change the case 7.3C. I'm really putting this to council how you want to change that portable, if you want to put a run or a portable enclosure or a chicken tractor. All of them?
What if we,
It's like
let's
it's
be kept within a fenced enclosure or a chicken coop?
Yeah,
Cover it, just.
Fenced
whatever
enclosure.
makes it easy, 'cause I'm fine with
Yeah.
that.
I mean, it's
Put
just
names
to
on it.
show that, they're not running wild, they are contained.
Yeah.
And it could be portable or not, that's to the discretion of the person.
Okay.
Can you see that, Phil? We're back there.
I can, doesn't affect me either way.
I'm just trying to deal with your verbal submission, so we'll just, so
Yeah.
I think that covers it quite nicely.
Yeah.
Okay,
No rooster.
No roosters, no. Before the bylaw was presented, that was quite clear by those who did call. They do not want roosters.
okay, so it is recommended that the proposed land use bylaw amendment 2561-504 to obtain, keep, and care for chickens within the hamlets of the county be approved, subject to case 7.CD3, fenced enclosure, chickens must be contained. That is a recommendation. So I will now ask for questions from council. And I'm hearing none, so I'll declare this public hearing closed at 11:45. Thank you, Pearl.
Thank you. All hamlets can now get chickens.
So-
How exciting.
Let's go look this up. Charles, you might have to
Yeah.
take a look at them.
What's fine.
You okay with that?
So we should just do this. Taking the bylaw.
That's what it says. That's just the bylaw before that, that's it.
Just a note that going forward, we need to make sure that we're monitoring the Zoom link when we're doing public hearing, because there was a hand raised in comments on to be sure. It's okay, but
How'd you see that? You're watching it?
because my mom texted me and she had comments on the proposal and didn't. And got ignored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who's monitoring the Zoom. but-
Which proposal? Secans or chicken?
Yeah, that's fine. I think we just have to get better at raising our hands.
Can we do second readings on both?
Yes, absolutely, yes, we'll do that right now. So we'll go
Second and third?
to 5.0.
Second only.
So we make amendments and then we.
Oh,
do the
okay.
final.
So 5.0, item A. The proposed bylaw amendment, so you've got that up there yet, so looking for second reading.
You know what, I would have her take them back, actually, and then do second and third, because we
Okay.
don't wanna give it without the changes.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we should just.
Return them?
Yeah.
So we need a motion to make those amendments then? On
Yeah.
each of them are gonna have them
Certainly
separate, so
that, yeah, to
we'll
do-
start with 504.
To
And I hope you got it written down for all of you.
Yeah.
You can tell Teresa to put it in the motion.
Oh, this one.
I think the only one was about one per hamlet, it's one per
Yeah,
lot.
per lot, yeah.
And then when you bring it back, next meeting, we can just be certain that the.
Because we're not gonna do those.
Okay.
That makes sense, yeah. Okay, let me have a break.
Okay. So you still wanna make that motion?
Whatever they,
Okay.
bring it up.
Sorry, Deccan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, is that clear what we're doing? We're gonna make that change and then bring it back. All in favor? Carried, and we'll do the same for 505.
Perfect.
I'll have to specify the changes that we can let them clean it up properly. So. Okay, Councillor Lewis made that motion, all in favor, carried. You got lunch coming in, Teresa?
Yes, we can go check. I told her to have it ready for noon.
Yeah, it's only 10:02, so we've got time. How long is your road classification gonna take? Pearl, we'll get
Well,
you back.
depends on how in depth we wanna get, but we can keep on going first.
So, Pearl, do you wanna, cause yours might take a bit longer, right?
Well, my first one here, the planning workshop isn't mine, but I would like to attend if council wants to go too. The only one of mine that I think will take a little bit of time is the planning and development update.
Okay, so let's leave that till after lunch.
Yeah.
Charles will do we'll go back to page 2 and 61 item B is a road
the
range
actual?
road classification, right?
Yes.
So we'll see you later. Thanks for good job. So she did a very good job.
City page?
Yep.
Yeah. So as we kind of alluded to before, there's a 1.74 kilometer section of Range Road 224, which is also 224A because it's a forest road. Between Township Road 905, Side Valley Road, and 904. And we're looking to get that reclassified. We had a resident reach out. And made a comment that section of road they used to go south to Denver Highway. Yeah, they make sense to me, to have that. We've got similar instances that I've just kind of picked up on as we've been going through our recent troubles. Then we'll be doing, like I said before, a thorough in-depth review of this, just to see what's classified as what, and then in addition to that too, I mean, some of these roads that are maybe called residential roads might be collector roads, whatnot, right? So that's why we bought traffic counters, so that we could see which roads are being utilized the most, and where to more effectively put our efforts. Then Gary, by all means, you had something to talk about with classifications.
Yeah. During the election, it came up several times that people were, in my ward, weren't happy with that classification for that, road that we denied, him, house permit. And, I want to follow up on this. We've declassified several roads now. So in a plus minus thing, we would be even by putting that part of that back into a residential one. And like it wouldn't be costing us nothing. And he would be able to be on, be a residential road and have the ability to have, all the things that go with that. And we wouldn't be stepping on his rights,
So he still wants to build where his shop is?
yes.
Yeah.
Just a question on that, what is the current state of the road, as it is a engineered road, because that will change the scope of all of this, because if it's not an engineered road, he's probably gonna have to pay for that to be brought up to standard, and then we'll take the road over, and so just keep that in mind.
Well, I mean, it's a road we took over from the ID days.
Yes.
Okay, so it is a current.
It is currently a road.
Just asking, I don't know.
Yeah, and it is, according to previous ones, up to where he is real good road, like it is.
Yes.
Well, it's as good as. we
Minus
get
the
around.
end where we got stuck.
So it was fast. And I was the driver, not the road.
Yeah. So just going back to that, like we discussed previously, like this, to reclassify that and where he has is roughly 5 kilometers, just off of my map measurement. And that's, I think, why it got denied, if I remember correctly, why it was denied at the time. To be reclassified. I mean, if it was, I don't know what the.
Well, was he, I thought he was considering building closer to
No, he put his shop, and we gave him a permit for the shop, I guess. And when he came back for the permit for the house, we said no. Now. This gets way into,
But he maybe didn't
Climates.
need a permit for the shop because it was a farm shop.
it's a farm shop,
So we probably.
but he wants to do things the right way. He works with us all the time. He's, like, he works for HES, HEA, HAE, whatever.
Yeah.
And,
Like.
anyhow, like, and he wants to do it right and legal. He's getting a little frustrated and, who knows, but I'm to the point where, I mean, we're sort of taking back these other ones. Why can't we give this to him and,
So the reason, and just going back to this one that we're talking about, is it's residential from here south. And then this small little 1.7 section is field access, which doesn't get maintained like the residential does. So that's where this resident that had reached out and said, hey, look, like, we use this as traveling to get to the highway south. And that's, yeah. That's why we brought that one forward.
but we also did that one in the west of Dixonville where we reclassified it. So.
Yeah, it was a half a mile.
Yeah, but, I mean, we had given them half a mile, so. A little, but.
So-
anyway.
Yeah, part of the reasoning was the length of the road that would have to be maintained further with going from field access to residential and the cost involved, so. I know that was part of the reason. But. We don't. Want to see more people.
Sorry, it's a fire call. Oh, there's nobody responding, so.
yeah, Linda, go ahead.
We can relate to the one in Riverdale because they built their house and they're looking after that road themselves. We might end up with the one off of the Carpenter Road going to. I can show you, I drove there. The line was? No, it's a. Was it you, might be the old Duke Road, but I'm just saying, this could open us up to a bunch of other ones.
Well,
because
and that's the thing, is I do not want residents maintaining our roads.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
but
it will
he
lead
was-
to
he was allowed
disaster.
To build his house there. That's the one that's just off the Carpenter Road. This road, he used to go in the house, has it up.
Oh,
Well, it doesn't make sense.
That young guy, you know, yeah, without a young guy.
Doesn't make sense to me.
But I'm just saying, if we,
No, but it doesn't make sense that we approved a development permit that he had to look after this road. That doesn't make sense.
We might have approved it for him to bring it up to standard and then take over the road.
Yeah,
That's what I would
I don't
go.
know, but I'm just saying, this, no, not someone, you know what I'm talking.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, like, when we go through a review of this, when we come to one like the one that, Gary's talking about, that wouldn't be one that I would necessarily bring forward to you guys, because really, in the grand scheme, doesn't make sense. It's not one of those small little off, whatever the word is I'm looking for. Cause yeah, like it's. I mean, if there was a resident that was down there that got forgot about or something, then yes, absolutely. But
But if it's going to give some assessment. I mean, and you saw his shop down there. Is that 5 kilometers gonna break us?
Well, we talked about that before, about the assessment versus the cost of maintaining, and we said it wouldn't cover it, but is that our only
Yeah,
criteria?
exactly.
I supported Gary on this one before, and I still would. I think that we don't want to be overreaching on somebody wanting to develop.
And develop the road.
Sure.
Yeah, well,
Someone
I mean,
actually trying to
he is
cross
saying,
the
you know, he did go to the trouble of trying to get, the permits. We denied him, and I talked to him yesterday, he said, you know, I'm willing to do it the right way. I just get
I
frustrated.
just remembered something from previous when we discussed this. So this was brought forward by Trent a while back. He was going, this resident was going to purchase a quarter closer to 743.
No, we recommended
Yeah,
that he do that.
we pushed him to move it closer.
But we reclassified a section of that road apparently from the previous. That was the previous information I had. Okay.
So in terms of this one, because this one's gonna be a bigger discussion, can you two get together? And bring it forward to the next agenda or the next meeting or something?
Yeah, I'll
In the
bring-
meantime, go ahead. So I'm prepared to make the motion that you reclassify this range road near Sunny Valley. The 224 to township 904 to 905. And have the DWP bring back a report looking at this specific road. I forget the range.
Yeah, page 60.
Yeah, there's gotta be a process to do that, right? If we want to reclassify it, we can't just do that together, so.
No, like,
Well, then that gives the rate, Gary time to talk to rate here. He can bring a letter forward addressing his plan.
yeah, I.
Work it all out
Like
for the next
something in
meeting.
writing there, and then I'll compile a report and I can have it ready for next meeting.
Sure.
Can you tell him to get a letter to go with the report? and
Or even
we'll
come as a delegation.
come as a delegation.
Well,
You did.
anyway,
They did.
Yeah, I think, a letter.
You did to start.
It's got been a while, right? So.
yeah, and it came up that other people in the area were happy with this side, you know, like it was.
Yeah.
Something that they think of what this should be supported against. Well,
So that would be my motion then, that we reclassify this road here as presented and have. What was the range road? 8,
Oh, sorry.
I forget. I don't wanna put his name in there.
Yeah, Range Road 224 between townships 904.
Oh, yeah, I mean, for the
Oh, sorry.
Glenville one,
It was township 860, east of Range Road 215.
Say that again?
And we, by the way.
Township Road 860,
Sorry, what?
Township Road 860. East of Range Road 215.
and bring a report back. For council's consideration to our.
And I can bring back the previous ones too, just so you guys have more background information on it and we'll go from there.
Was it January 20, whatever our next meeting is.
Yeah, and maybe the ratepayer can reach out directly to you if you want to, rather than using a go-between.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or whatever, yeah.
yeah, we just, I'd like something in writing so that I can bring that to.
Yeah, I can give him, or, give him. his-
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
Yeah.
is that motion clear to everybody? Any questions on it, discussion?
Well, I have a question, so
Yeah.
can I go to my ratepayer if it's in the
Absolutely.
same thing?
Yeah.
Will it do the same thing?
All these classifications all have the, at the end of them are all discretionary.
Yeah.
Council
Do you want me
decision.
to add it to my motion?
No,
I don't see limited to right there.
Yeah. My
I mean-
ratepayer.
Well, I just did it for Gary, so it's only fair.
well, yeah, if you have some details on it, I guess.
Do you want me to add it, Linda, or you?
I can get it added. I'll get them to come and talk.
Yeah, just get them to come up.
Okay, so I'll leave the motion as it stands.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions, discussion? No, all in favor? Carried, okay, we'll recess for lunch.
Yeah, can, just before we do that, we did miss a motion that I
Yes.
kind of asked for.
So,
During the snowplow report. I would like to see, if council's willing to put a motion forward to
The driveway.
add it to me.
end driveway applications for this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they should have a time limit.
Yeah, and then we'll bring the back policy to you guys
That's good.
with a deadline in
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah.
for now, I just need something to go.
We just add it to my motion where I accepted your snow plowing report.
Sure.
I mean, I'm fine with that if everybody else.
That's, yeah. And cease, or yes, suspend. That's good too.
So say it, what do you? want?
And suspend new applications for the snowplow program.
Until,
Next one, driveway program.
Yeah,
Well, this-
driveway in there. Otherwise,
Yeah. Yeah. Until June of 2025.
Twenty 26.
Or 20, sorry, yes.
Let's
Just
go
to
way
be-
back.
And Dan, just to be clear on that, that's simply because they can't do inspections when there's 4 feet of snow and everything, right? We don't know how many harrows are laying out there or
Well,
posts and.
and it is like one of the first lines in the application, right, that it has to be inspected and
Yes.
approved before.
Yeah, so when these applications come in, we make sure they don't owe taxes, because if you owe taxes, you don't get plowed.
June.
I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
like, if somebody says, well, how come you're stopping taking them, well, because the first line is, it has to be inspected and
Yeah.
it can't be right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can't
That's
say
covered them, so,
until.
and you'll come back after lunch for, Pearl's gonna talk about.
Oh, yeah, no, I've got stuff that I can be here for in camera, so.
Sounds good, let's go have lunch while it's hot.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, it's not.
Did Josh call you right back?
Well, I looked into it and it's weird.
Yeah. Because
Dan,
Josh called me panicking.
You're welcome, to stay for lunch with us if you want,
But when are you reconvening? Like 1 o'clock or?
Maybe.
maybe even sooner, however long it takes us to eat, so.
Oh,
Did you have to go somewhere?
I have a new lens. I kind of want to go outside.
Oh, yeah. We'll wait for you, but you're welcome to join us if you want.
I'll come back at 12:30.
If you know, somebody left to let you in, but we'll watch for you.
Okay.
So the name that you're watching.
We're having chicken
Doesn't
for
make
supper, so I think that's hamburger soup, hamburger
That's all I'm
vegetable,
watching.
buns and some square.
And we'll go down to 6.6.1. Item A is the planning 101 workshop. County of Grand Prairie in conjunction with Brownlee. Putting this on, we've ever attended these.
I think I went to one.
Yeah, you
years
did, that's right.
ago, early and
Any,
so,
any value?
well, you always learn something. Something to go for.
Yeah, I will take any opportunity to learn.
And you can teach us. They say.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, it is for council as well, if any of you want to come too.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. Where did you go?
That'd be awesome.
I should find out what the bylaw was.
Okay, we'll,
Mhm.
put a motion to acknowledge receipt, accept the information.
We'll have to say the terms.
No, no.
She can go in there.
Yeah.
Her boss can send her.
Very exciting.
Okay, Councillor Sinski, is that motion, all in favor? It's carried. Item B is the signs, development permits and road usage agreements to bring some awareness to these people.
Yes, as you remember, we had a recent industrial camp that kind of had a faster timeline than typical. Some of those subcontractors that were working on that development or working with that development came to us and said that they felt one of the issues on why they weren't getting a permit to begin with, or why they took so long to acquire that permit, was because they were under the impression that a permit wasn't required for development for industrial purposes. Not true. We've put out Facebook posts, we put things in the paper, but that's not always something visible all the time, right? Like, paper only comes on Wednesday. You're only going to read it once a week. We found these signs as an option to put at the start of those roads where we're seeing that it's a problem. Just as a constant visual reminder for the next couple of years that, hey, you do need a development permit. You also need a road use agreement. We figured that if we're putting the sign up for one, we may as well have both on there. The cost per sign is listed below there. We'd recommend 5 roads. If there's any roads that you want to add to that list, please let us know. We can definitely add them.
Where was that?
So
First one, the one we had some problems. Is that the one in Cape River?
that was 1020, yes. Yeah, so we got these roads based off where development's been reported, as well as where road data has let us know there's been heavy traffic. So it kind of hits both the RUA and the development permit. Our aim is to basically say you can't plead ignorance if there's a sign on the side of the road that tells you you need it. Yeah.
Maybe a little reward. I know a lot of people. They're gonna pay. And this is.
Yeah, and the nice thing is it's our road. We can control what we put along the side of it. If you do have more roads that you feel this would be of value, we can definitely look at that. They're not very large signs, I will say. They're 55 by 60 centimeters. We had reached out to more than just ATS originally. I inquired with several people, but they wanted a ridiculously large sign. They wouldn't give me a quote for a much smaller sign. They informed me that that was
About the same size as our Welcome County governments.
yeah, a little bit bigger. A lot. $2,000, yeah. It kind of felt like when you're someone who doesn't really know what they're doing at the mechanic shop and you go in for an oil change and then all of a sudden there's 52 things wrong. Felt like that because the sign was a $2,000 per sign bill. So that was not the option we chose to present. The 50-ish or 52.50 per sign felt a little bit more reasonable.
And so would these go on posts that are already in place or?
No, we'd have to put the post in. I spoke.
The set post in, and they will be there for more than a few years, bro.
Yeah, well,
So. Yeah, we put them on their own posts and. Just at the start of these 5 roads that are listed, right off of the highways.
yeah,
That way it's.
right as you turn onto the road, it'll be there.
Is there any like bulk pricing if we wanted to have a few in stock for when things come up?
Yep.
So I mean, yeah, by all means, we can do that. So just for a little extra information. Public Works carries $20,000 in the budget for signs. So this is peanuts compared
Yeah,
to.
you definitely want to get some spares because other roads might come up or these could become target practice.
And then the other thing with that to consider is once we've paid the $45 art charge, going forward, the $52.50 per sign, that's why I did the cost per sign,
Right.
would be all we'd pay if we ordered more. And we can always order more. It's definitely an option.
think we gotta try something.
Yeah, it stays longer than the paper.
Well, and it probably is, I mean, to their point, it's probably, if they're not from here, if they're not local contractors, they're not reading the local paper, they're not
Yeah,
doing that.
Surf at the Facebook page.
It's usually not.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
seriously, they didn't have to get a development permit for anything that was less than 6 months.
oh yeah,
Ways back, so
that's probably wise.
Yeah.
They're used to our previous regulation, yeah.
I'm sure that's not.
And then what the sign would read is just on the back page of there for you. Road use agreement required. All development in industrial camps require development permit, and then our phone number.
So would these be a white background, or would you get a fluorescent yellow?
They're white background, like
You
the,
would consider something like a fluorescent yellow for draw attention?
we could, it'd probably be more expensive.
No, this is a.
So we want to order a few extra.
Like, cause these will still be reflective, like the
Yeah.
normals, like a
Speed for
80
normal.
kilometer/hour sign type thing, right?
when you're driving down the road, you're used to seeing, you know, either yellow or whatever. It's like,
So you're looking for a motion then to approve purchase of?
Yep.
However many, like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, this is well within my spending authority. I can order these as long as that is what council wants.
I just think, make sure you get a few extra.
Oh, for
Get a
sure.
few extra.
We will not be installing them till spring for obvious reasons.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Also, Dan, sorry, didn't mean to knock the paper in that. Just people don't get to read it all. You know?
Oh.
Okay, sounds good, so let's get a motion to acknowledge receipt of the report and authorize administration to install.
I can make that motion.
Okay, Councillor Chug, all in favor? Carried. Okay, what do you got next, your update?
Yes. Okay, so this is our monthly update. Going back through the month of December, 8 development inquiries were received. 1 of those was received by ISL, 7 by myself. Out of those came 1 application and 4 development permits were approved with notices of decision issued. For subdivisions, we had 3 inquiries. They were all received by myself. 1 application, 1 notice of decision, and 3 subdivisions were endorsed. So they met all the requirements that council had listed, and we sent them to land titles to be registered. Just as a reminder, these numbers are for number of individuals, not frequency of inquiries from those individuals. We get to chat lots with these people about the things that they're planning. It's very fun. Other matters to discuss. DP 2524. This was our file that has the non-compliant open discharge. The appropriate agency was notified on December 15th of the violation for them to address. The applicant intends to remedy the situation in June of 2026. The compliance agency is working with the applicant to bring the applicant into compliance without causing undue hardship. What the agency does is they have them disconnect the pump out and then use it like a tank that needs to get sucked out. Due to the parcel size and the way it's shaped, it seems that this is what this applicant will possibly need to do just going forward indefinitely. Which is unfortunate, but they aren't interested in pursuing the treatment mound, which he previously stated he might be. He's looking at possibly getting it sucked out permanently, so it'll be interesting to see if that meets the requirements from there. In December, in the December 9th, 2025 meeting, administration was directed to return to council with information pertaining to enforcement options for non-permanent development. I will bring back what other counties are doing on the 27th or other areas are doing. And then if I do get to attend that thing on the 5th, we'll see what they have for bylaw enforcement options there as well. And I'll bring that back to council as well. Then hopefully we can make an informed decision. Yeah,
Okay, thanks, bro.
no problem.
Chair, I just got a comment. I want to comment. Well, the way you handled not just the previous what do you call it, public hearing,
Mhm.
but also the application in December. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
The Iron Lady.
Be careful, I'll end up with another sign in my office that says that.
Okay, Okay, get a motion to acknowledge receiving the administrative planning and development update and accept for information.
I mean,
Okay, Councillor Reese, all in favor, carried,
Thank you.
thank you, bro.
Thank you. And if anyone has any comments or concerns of your constituents for the CCAN or the chicken bylaw, please send them towards me. I'd love to chit chat.
Let's get down to 6.63, ag services. I see Blake is here, might as well.
We're all day, so we can go in order, or do we choose?
Good afternoon, Peter.
Huh?
I said, happy year, I thought you'd be, on the unemployment line though, not yet.
I guess not till the 17th or something. I can be, but just tell me to go home. Just,
You can't change your mind.
I don't know. I'm just too busy with the farm and I don't know, just life in general, little kids. And
Plow snow, feed cows.
I probably plowed more snow this year than I have in the last decade, I would think. But hopefully it's things to come for spring and we can maybe have one of them years where we have like 40 inches of rain again.
Okay, so, ag service board multi-municipality orientation session.
So the fieldman from Birch Hills reached out and said she was looking at having the province come up and do some orientation for the ag service board, just because of, I'm guessing maybe she has a board that has a lot of new members, and then she just fielded it out to everybody saying if they're coming up, maybe we have them do a bit of a tour.
It's still Birch Hills, not Bitch Hills.
Birch Hills, is that what it says? Oh no, Teresa. That wasn't my typo. Birch Hills, as far as I know, unless they change their name, but we figured it would just be a good idea. I don't think we've actually ever done one since I've been here with the province. Like most of you guys have been here for a long time. There's a couple new people, but they go over the policies and the Weed Control Act and how they apply and appeal process. We do have a multi-municipal appeal board with Big Lakes County, Greenview, and Northern Sunrise County that I think Terry's the only one that's maybe been to actual one. But they're also planning on doing a little more in-depth one with our regions, like what our policies are, what we're looking for, kind of a little more personalized intent. They want to plan to do one of those as well. I don't know. I think it'd be maybe a good idea to try to bring them. They're kind of coming up on the 11th to 12th. They're kind of both suitable days, Teresa's indicated there. Just see if that's something you guys want to do, or if you feel like you got a good enough grasp on it on our own. We could obviously decline, but I think it'd probably be.
I think it'd be super beneficial. I unfortunately am only available on the 11th, but that's just me.
So would it be our whole region would be involved in this?
I think they're gonna tour around. Is they'll kind of do like, I think it's only gonna be like 3 hours, so they might try to do like 2 or 3 municipalities.
One meeting.
Just one meeting.
It's just one orientation session. It's about an hour to 3 hours, depending on Q&A. And she's gonna find it in a central location. So once she has an idea of how many, she'll know what size of a facility.
Will there be a virtual option?
I would think so, depending on the facility, but. So if there's a day that's better for the whole board, we can tell her that too.
Okay, so you might get a free lunch out of the deal. That's what it sounds like.
If they have that Roycroft, they always have good lunches.
Oh, yeah.
Breakfast,
Unfortunately, Rycroft's not super central to us, but
better than Granbury
yeah, slightly. Yeah, 45 minutes.
or Smoky, well, the Smoky Road. Yeah, Roycroft is okay. So I can get a few those days. Caitlin said,
Well, you have to track on the phone.
No, it's, you can take, which day do you? Well, she's only gonna do one.
If you're looking for a preference between one or the other, or you can't pick.
No, she's trying to get the most, so.
Yeah, that's what I thought. She needs us to pick one day.
I know I'm being called from that.
If there's a virtual option, does that make it fit into your guys' schedule potentially where you don't have to travel? Could maybe still hop in and listen?
But
So if it was at like 9 o'clock, you could probably make it on the 12th.
yeah,
That's something we could also pass along to him.
back up this next time. Peace River,
yeah.
so it's only an hour out, Peace River. Leave early if we had to. Yeah, either one of those dates would work. You said you're not available the 11th.
Yeah, I got either on the 12th works.
How about the other under 11th or 12th?
I don't have a preference. Either.
Either or.
Well, let's try for the 12th.
The 12th is what you're thinking?
Start in the morning. You have to be home by 6:30.
You want a 9 AM start preferably, or?
Well, they haven't picked a, they're considering right off. They haven't secured anything yet, so.
Some of you have meetings in Peace River the one day?
On that.
Did some of you have meetings in Peace River?
Yeah, on the 12th at 1 o'clock.
The 12th at 1 o'clock? So if
Maybe
they,
they could move it to Grosha, I don't know, I mean, Birchall's is organizing this, so they probably want to have it close to their municipality.
yeah, even Fairview's only what, a half hour from Birch Hills? That would just maybe make it so that you guys could catch one in the morning and then one in the afternoon, but
Okay, we'll see what they say.
Oh, one day.
It sounds like,
Can see if there's a virtual one.
yeah, we'll ask.
sounds like the 12th is a better date for.
So if it is the 12th, who would attend? That'd be, what do we have, 5? 5 that would attend? Brent, Gary, Terry, Linda, and Brenda? Those 5?
I can make the 12th work if it's
I
close
can
enough,
make the
like
12th.
if Terry can make it work, then I can make it work.
Yeah, we can all make it on the 12th.
Okay. Everybody can make it.
Zoning is-
Do you have enough information there, Teresa, in your motion?
So meetings is very.
Indeed.
I wouldn't tell them me if you wouldn't. I would be home.
Really, well, conversation, so.
Okay, so we'll make a motion that we'll reply to the organizers that are interested in attending, and 7 could attend on the 12th if it's in the morning, and just, let them know that.
What was that? Sorry, I missed on this part.
It's in the morning, right, but they're not planning but I think it said in here that they would. They didn't actually give a time, did they?
3 hours.
They just said 3 hours,
Up to 3.
but we would prefer morning.
Morning of the 12th.
12th. Okay, who wants to make that motion? Okay, Councillor Swinski makes that motion, all in favor? Carried. Wait, before, that's all you had, eh?
Yeah, actually Teresa put this on, so I just kind of showing up to work here after feeding cows, figured I'd pop in here.
What about that? I see there's an email out of all the council got it, about that 1080.
They just sent an update here after lunch, re-clarifying some things in there that I haven't went through, but I've known for a long time they're basically, it's going to be more of a stewardship, and you're going to have training to dispense it. So much like how I have my pesticide applicator's license, it'll actually go and be administrated through Lakeland College, and I'll have to, like how I have agriculture, industrial landscape, I'll have to get another class that, well, basically, I don't know what they're going to call this new 1080 toxicant license. Maybe I'll have to have that on there as well. They are changing some of the requirements. You have to have 5 years of experience handling 1080 to be able to do the training to farmers. So now you're going to have to, I don't know if it's going to be like an educational video or some kind of package they're going to make you go over with the farmers, and then probably do some sort of comprehension tests on it now to be able to access the 1080. Like I'll end up being probably like one of the 10 or 15 fieldmen left in the province that even has like the qualifications to administer the test, right? So there's
producers, they'll have to take some kind of.
They'll have to take this information like stewardship training, which basically go online and do it. Yeah. I'm hoping that's what they're doing. They're supposed to be working with Lakeland College to put something that's kind of similar to that out there, but nobody will basically be able to use it unless they do that like paper exercise or safety exercise, right?
So so today, to find out Cuddy's problem or Wolf problem, did you meet any or not yet?
Today, March 7th, I think the changes are coming in, the new
But
changes.
You'd have to have this training go first. You can't give it out until this is all implemented.
I think March 7th is when the new training you have to have that is gonna be required by, but as far as I know, they haven't even released the program, right? Which,
Probably the conference, they'll talk more about it.
yeah, they'll probably have an update at the conference on the 20th, which that's the also thing I wanna let you guys know is I won't be able to attend, so there's just some things that changed. I just won't be able to find somebody to feed my cows, so I'm gonna stay home and feed cows, and then I got feed coming in on Monday and Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Hauling in feed for some new cows we bought, so I won't be able to attend. I'll try to line up with Nasser and see if he's attending to get you guys your clickers on the day. I also reached out to the Provincial Ag Service Board Committee Rep Linda Hunt to see if like we can get a copy of these provincial resolutions, because if you remember last time we discussed them, there were like 5 resolutions that the committee was putting forward, the ones that had said PC, and they still haven't had them out yet, and she said she was gonna get them to me. And
They're gonna present one for sure about changing the whole resolution process.
Great.
Provincial committee's gonna do that one, so.
That might be even more in the rules and procedures. That might just be like an editing there that everybody will have to do. It might not actually.
Resolution as well.
You think it's gonna be a specific resolution? Because through the part, they always start by saying like on the agenda, are there any business arising from the previous? And then they go over the rules and procedures and if there's any amendments. And then that's when they propose the amendments to the rules and procedures. So that's where they might do that. But that they gave us in the document there, they gave us their proposed changes and then their justification why they're making the changes. And most of them seemed okay. The only one was, I think they were going to go up to like a 2/3 majority on certain issues to so make it so it wasn't simple majority. And I think that's just to limit the volume of resolutions they're getting on lobbying, because last year they also told us they were basically only lobbying on 3. I don't know if that clarifies what you're asking
But
there.
anyway, these new changes won't take effect until next year. They're still under the old rules this year. So they explained it, so which makes sense. I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
You gotta ratify them first, right? And then.
Yeah.
After, so.
So if you get in any more fights with people from Vulcan, you're gonna have to get Gary to back you up or Linda or something.
Well, Trina's not gonna should either, so.
Yeah, should be good.
She shortened it up.
And they pulled their resolution too, so no more from the mysterious Northern Alliance.
Maybe that could be your side gig, consult and write resolutions for us.
Yeah. They got this farm. Go back to being a full-time farmer.
Get them, broadband cable home.
Yep. Like that day, Jason brought them up, which is good because it started snowing. Like, I think we got a foot of snow, so if I left them there for Monday, I just would have to clean out another foot of snow. But no, they're pretty good actually. Okay, thanks guys.
Yeah. Okay, we need Trinity for this. Next one, so. No, okay. We can, go to 6.6.2, community services. Item A is the City Chamber Davis Awards coming up again already. Seems like we just had that. Yeah, I guess it was.
Yeah.
So we're looking for sponsorship.
Josh always has $1,000 in your budget in under economic development and community services for this. You've been doing this for 10, 15 years, so that $1,000 is always in there. So you have choice to decide what to do.
We're award sponsor of the year, but
Yes, and I did notice that they're not asking you to give an award this year.
we always do
Isn't that
that.
normally what you do? Yeah, and they didn't say that in the letter this year.
So last year I went, nobody else was there, but I just brought greetings from council. There was no award presentation, but I think we were maybe the dessert sponsor last year. Or not, I don't know. We definitely did that on the award, because. But
I think I won't went here and it was an award, then you went, and I think Carrie went.
I've gone a couple of times. Yeah. We just sponsored them.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But it's never really
Yeah.
gone very- I think there's research.
So, you know, sponsored again, I would think, does it matter which one of those categories or?
So $1,000 covers entertainment or the award sponsor or the dessert sponsor, wine sponsor. So if you want to just find them.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Well, what are the award sponsor?
That doesn't matter to me. There's 8 of them available, so chances are that it's available probably for their.
Or is the organizers put one for us or what? Maybe the other ones are already filled. There's lots of them are only one available. The award sponsor, yeah, that's what I say too. Okay,
I'll make that motion.
and I would be available to go unless somebody else wants to.
Put some balls on that new product.
After it's sitting,
That's it.
too much soda going in. It's February the 7th. Okay, who wants to make that motion?
I do.
You do? You're not too late.
She did.
All in favor? Carried. Women in the North sponsorship request.
This year, they're not going from place to place.
Yeah, they're not gonna do that this year, are they?
So what's before you is the sponsorship, and I just received yesterday, the registration stuff, so that'll be on the next council meeting. And like you've noticed, they've changed it up so that it's only one venue in, central Grimshaw there. And as always, we have that, money budgeted in our annual budget, the $1,000, so, I recommended that you maybe just choose the tiered bronze sponsorship. That's $1,000. It goes from 0 to $14.99. But feel free to sponsor, you know, a coffee and snacks or the lunch sponsorship at $1,000. Only do.
So I see we've been 500, 1,000, 500. We've been kind of.
Well, no, the 500 was split in 2 places because that was for Peace River and Manning. Yeah, so we always had that total of 1,000.
I'm okay if we just go in at $1,000 bronze sponsor and let them fill it in where they need to.
Yep.
How does that work? Does it give us access to exchange tickets?
No, they're going to continue that new project that they did last year, where if you buy 3 or more, you get it'll be on the RFD that comes to council next. And because we had some staff, because you sent staff as well to get that. Yeah, so they are doing that again. They're just working out the details. I haven't read the whole email because it just came in.
So we can wait till next meeting to register.
Yes, correct.
Attendees. Okay, so looking for the motion to, and Caitlin made the motion.
Sure.
To sponsor $1,000 to the Women in the North.
Yeah.
That comes out of council grants, obviously. All in favor? Opposed? You're neutral?
You opposed, maybe? No,
Favor?
just short thing, smelly. Oh.
Okay, we can go to page 3. We have council word reports. Brett, you do have one? Do you have anything verbal?
No, I,
December of
much other, and I've doubted my phone, now that we've got this laptop, that's really a pain, but it's been work, so.
Okay, any discussion?
Looking forward to this
Any more discussion on the word reports? If not, the motion to accept them. Yeah, Councillor Albisky, all in favor? Carried. Info package, a couple of additions.
I was wondering if admin could send me that economic development, that free virtual course link to, and I'll self-register to send me the link. I just would like to listen in on it. It's specific for elected officials, and I know we go around and around about economic development, so I thought it might be some good information. But I was too lazy to take out all the HTTP : so if you can send it to me, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing else, no other comments, the info package, give a motion to null and receipt except for information, carried, Councillor Thies, all in favor, carried. Open mic, Dan,
Did the entire council attend the virtual meeting online, about the Dixonville Charter School on December 18th?
I think
Yes.
Brent wasn't there, he didn't have,
I was there.
Gary.
yeah, he wasn't, yeah,
Yeah.
so most of council did,
Not most
it's
council.
not that it.
So it's gonna go for the autumn of 2026, that's good.
That's their plan.
And what's going on with the library then?
So we've always shared a library, the county and Peace River School Division have shared the same library, so that's going to be able to continue. From all indications,
And is it continuing right now, is it still?
so the library is still operating currently, right?
Yes.
Yep. And just kind of on their own now, because Peace River School Division has kind of exited there.
Okay. About the Manning Municipal Airport, was that the STARS area ambulance that was not allowed to land, or?
Then nobody was not allowed to land.
Or did they get on or?
Yeah.
It was fixed wing.
Yeah, it was a fixed wing plane and they had checked the runway condition. We said it was snow covered. And then we would open it and they said, no, it's okay, we're not landing anyway.
Okay,
That's,
that wasn't STARS, or it was?
it was not STARS.
AHS fixed wing.
Yeah.
Do you expect flooding in the spring, Charles?
Yes.
Everybody buy a pie.
Yeah, pretty much. And we're going to be addressing it the best we can.
Yeah.
Before it happens and opening ditches and stuff, but. It's not gonna be perfect, so. I would expect some washouts. On the roads.
Don't understand, we still got 2.5 months of winter left yet, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not finished yet.
It's forecasted to get about the same amount that we just had, so.
Oh, my God.
no, I was just wondering what the heck is a mold board and a wing and a V-plow?
Okay, so your moldboard is the center. Blade on the grader, the
Yeah.
one that goes side to side,
Yeah.
and then the wing is the one that comes down to clear the shoulder.
Okay, great, and I thought that was a good comment about this CPR crossing, Brent. About their sort of slowness about clearing that off, because,
Yeah, they were really bad.
and, that's good for me, I really wanna ask how you can raise chickens without a rooster.
The age-old chicken and the egg.
Get some biology classes. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna go on camera, so thanks, Dan.
I will pass out your in-camera and at the same time, the agenda package for tonight, so we can discuss. Well, everything. You wanna do this one? No. One of those. Okay, one of Brent.
Or chocolate or caramel coffee. Or did you give these one?
Looks like
extra one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, that was probably next week, so.
No, I'll trade.
Oh, was that?
You can visit one of the.
Oh, yeah, I ended up with temporary.
Did you give yourself an extra one? They gave you one yesterday.
Oh,
We'll give it back.
Okay.
No, we like these ones.
Terry, where did it come from? Brenda.
Me too. Yeah, that just got that from.
Linda gave it.
I was trying to talk here, but,
That's what they like.
Yeah, there, you got dark chocolate. He's happy.
So I can take my name down.
thank you, Linda.
I'll get you later, I'm just coming out.
I had chocolates for you too at Christmas and nobody came.
I got chocolate too.
Just,
I'll get.
Maria and Brent and myself. That is.
You guys ate chocolate? Yeah, I had a nice box of Prunes. Well, I'm seeing Terry's had one, so I thought, oh, very well.
So,
I'll switch the ones.
do you have a set?
Me, I do.
Yeah, so this one is for. DPW. We have talked about the nobles name for 75, they wanna know where, what the other. I will book them in.
Cool.
Yes, and you'll want to discuss it and read.
I respond to that phone you had, pretty Burton?
They stood us down.
I'll go get another agenda package. Right.
Tell me.
Yeah.
No. He sent me a request, friend request on Facebook or something else. Something else that we need. No.
Are we gonna do a motion just to go in camera?
Yeah, as soon as everything is back. Get the doors closed.
You said.
All I know is last night I worked on it and I wasn't able to fix it.
This is your article is talking about this.
No. No.
It was just underneath this pile of stuff. So who is missing? Beautiful. And I found.
oh, thank you.
She was fantastic. She gave that to me. You'll learn how to run some spring in the office. Well, I had this for council. How much of this now? Get some gummies. Just the PLS money that goes to libraries. Oh. Well, yes, but also in the conversation with him.
Well, we're certainly.
Everybody has something. I think you might need to use. This.
Good. Motion to go in camera. Brent, All in favor, carried.